Blazin' Hit Radio.
Now with more us.
They're just really funny.
Better music,
Less commercials.
more Larry and Kathie.
It's so funny. Yesterday we were talking about Chick-fil-A, and now there's one opening in Westminster where people are camped out
Yes.
for a free Chick-fil-A.
Free Chick-fil-A.
So what do you get, like a gift card or a year supply?
I don't know.
Right, because you wouldn't be camping out for one.
No, I
nugget
think it's
or
definitely
sandwich.
a year's worth of free
Right.
Chick-fil-A, but I don't know the actual rules. Like,
Right. But there's a lot of people out
4
there.
sandwiches a day, I'm not sure.
Right. One sandwich a week. There's a bunch of people out there. This past weekend, near my house, there's these bikes that you see everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're called Lime Bike.
Okay. Oh, yeah. They're all over Aurora.
Right.
Right.
And so they're kind of like, there's a version of them in Denver.
Yes.
And you but these ones you don't have to take back to an area.
Yeah, mine either. Like, to the point where they're left on bike paths. They're left.
They flopped in China. This is a China idea originally, and no one took part of it. And so there's a picture of tens of thousands of bikes just in a dump because people would do that, where they would just leave bikes.
No, you're
somewhere.
supposed to leave them at the bus stop and wherever, and then they come and get them and track them. Or if you see one anywhere, you can just unlock it with the app and then ride it. You know what I mean?
Really? That's what it's about? Mm-hmm. I was wondering how they keep track of all the bikes. And why would you throw thousands of them in the dump
Because
when
it just
you could
failed.
just give it to people? People
because
still
no
need
one
the
used
bikes.
them. It failed. It
Oh,
sounded
well, no,
like
people are using them in
Oh,
Aurora.
are they?
No,
That's
for
why
sure.
they're scattered everywhere. After they're done using them, they leave them right there.
You'll see a bus stop and there'll be 8 of them.
Yes.
So Chris and I are like, well, we should try them.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
cool.
So then we're like, you can get them at the Stanley Market, which is, it's a little ways.
It's only like a mile from your house.
Right.
Okay.
So I was like, well, we're driving, right? And he's going to walk there. And I was like, we'll just drive there and then we'll get the bikes and then we'll ride around and then we'll ride them back.
Okay.
So we drive over there and we get the bikes and you unlock them with the app. And it's kind of cool because it's all, bzz, and it tells you that your bike's open or whatever.
That's cool.
So we got on them and we started to ride around the neighborhood. And this is how out of shape I am. Like, we rode around the neighborhood just for a little bit, went to our house. I was like, I have the worst cotton mouth. We have to stop at the house. I have to get water.
Okay.
So we stopped at the house and I was like, oh my God, my legs are already sore.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So then Chris is all, should we just leave him here and we can walk to go get the car?
Oh,
I was
yes.
like, no, we're riding him back to where we got him.
Right, exactly.
So then,
I'd much rather ride the bike back than walk it.
Exactly.
Come on.
So then we ride the bikes all the way back, and I'm just like, put it the thing, and then you lock it, and I'm just like sweating. I'm walking through the Stanley Market to where the car is. It's so crowded. There's a ton of people there. Try not to just engage anybody.
Right.
Walk straight through. I'm all. I get to the car. Chris is behind me. I was like, we need to ride bikes all the time.
Totally.
'Cause we are so out of shape. It was sad.
Yeah.
It
So
was
you're
just
going to do it
sad.
again today. It's going to be like 60.
Oh, is it going to be nice today?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for sure. I just realized, I was like, man, that's sad.
Yeah.
That is just like, I was like, I would have dumped it, thrown it in a dump. and then yesterday I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm looking at my phone and it says, and it's all, Lime Bike is tracking your phone. It's like, are you okay with that? And I'm all like, no. And it's like, it's been tracking your phone for the last couple days.
Well, ever since, whoa.
You're right. And we didn't ride till the weekend, so it's been tracking my phone
Every
since then.
app tracks your phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then
for
I
the
got
most
to
part.
opt out. I said only when I'm using the app.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
With every, like Facebook, Facebook is opening, like in Facebook Messenger, they know your location, they know where you've been.
They're probably listening
Yeah.
to you. They know
Right.
buzzwords.
That's why if you like talk about certain things, you'll
Yeah, I've
see-
tried that. I'm like always like, hot guys and jock straps. Hot guys and jock
That's not gonna
straps.
pull
Never
that
shows
up.
up on my feed.
No, it's not going to.
I keep waiting for the doorbell to ring.
Yeah.
Hey, did you call a hot guy in a jock strap?
And it still hasn't happened, huh?
But they will
crazy.
come over
Can I
there
ride
with
your Lime Bike?
With-
Why
they
don't you
will come
ask
with the Lime
Alexa to
Bike,
get you
yeah.
some hot guys in a jockstrap?
Ordering jock strap guy.
If she can order Batman or doll houses, she should be able to order a guy in a jockstrap.
The bikes aren't mountain bikes, so like
They're kind of like old lady put some flowers in your basket.
there is a
bikes.
basket.
Right.
And I hadn't ridden a bike in so long that I was having trouble like turning quick enough and stuff. So I was going off road and I would go off the sidewalk
those
into
kind
the
of
grass. Right. And I was like, these are not mountain bikes. So
At
I go over a
all.
curb, clunk, clunk, ow! And the seats aren't comfortable. But yeah, I'm out of shape. Yeah.
So what are you going to do about that?
The thing is, we're committed to doing at least 40 or 30 or 40 on the treadmill daily.
Oh,
So
good.
that should get me up to, when it gets nice, I should be able to ride a bike for more than a couple blocks.
30 to 40 seconds.
Shut up.
What are you going to do on that?
30 minutes.
I'm proud of you. So when did it
thanks.
start?
This past weekend.
Okay, so for the past 4 days, you've been, or
on the
3
treadmill.
days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Right. I'm like, hey, it still works.
Yay!
Yeah, so.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something. You can't just eat pie.
Well, you know what? That study was very encouraging, I think, to a lot of people. That study we had that even if you've been a couch potato fat ass for
Right.
most of your life,
You can
just
make
got to
up
do
for
some
it.
heavy workout for 2 years and your heart gets back in shape.
Which is no easy task. It's hard to commit to 2 weeks.
Yeah,
much
right,
less 2 years.
right.
But I do envy all those people that just automatically do it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
no,
just
no, for sure.
part of the
but-
routine.
But it would be nice to have that time in your day to do that.
Right.
A lot
also-
of people work so much that they're like, I just need to rest now. I don't have another hour.
The hardest part is this job because I was in shape before we
Yeah, you were.
started doing these hours again, and that's the last freaking thing I want to do because I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted if I get home. I'm exhausted if I have to get up for this. It's just impossible to get that schedule in.
Why
Agreed.
should we exercise if the president doesn't?
I
mean,
know.
he doesn't exercise,
He's got
so why
great
should
genetics, dude.
Oh,
You
you
don't
got
have
great genes.
Yeah, you don't have
Oh,
great
that's right.
genes.
Remember,
That's
he
what it
They're
is.
the best.
He has fashionable.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has a doctor who'll lie about his weight.
Right.
Yeah. And his height. They showed Obama
right.
next to him. Obama's 6'1", and in all the inauguration pictures, they're the exact same height as each other. So it's like,
Right.
Yeah.
whatever.
All right. Well, back to exercise, I guess.
That's good though. I told you my friends they made a commitment before Christmas. They just have to walk a mile a day. So whether it's on the treadmill or they do
Outside.
it, their goal or the steps, 10,000 steps, they're doing a mile a day.
I respect people who, like I said, automatically do it. I also respect people who tried and failed.
Right,
So we should
right.
talk.
We're not hating on you.
Right. Let's go have queso.
You can do this.
Oh my God, I'm sorry to change something. This is terrifying. There's raccoons in the attic at a condo and apartment complex. I would freak out.
Oh, that's raccoon pee.
Oh, what's wrong? I don't mind raccoons.
They're so
They're
cute.
vicious. Raccoons are
No,
raccoons
I grew
are
up.
vicious.
No, I think I grew up in a different area, or not era, but a different place. Like in the mountains, we fed the raccoons. Like it's a joke on the Everyday
Yeah.
Show because I just finally found the pictures of them coming in the camp where we'd sleep.
Though they're real docile, the ones that you feed. Cause
Well, no, they're
used to-
wild.
Oh, okay. But I
They
mean,
were
like
wild.
once you feed animals for a while, then they
Oh, they
are.
knew where to come.
Right, like some
so much so,
parks
like
can
the
go-
mama would bring her babies
Right.
and stuff. Right.
For sure. And then they're not like as much of a threat as one that you cornered in your garage that you don't know.
True. And
Like,
again, this was the woods. So after they ate, they went back into the woods. It's not like they went into my attic.
Right,
or
right.
they went,
No, they went
out
to go
into the
sleep.
backyard.
They were like full of gravy and bread. That's
They sure
awesome.
were. Oh, I loved it. Like we'd always, on the way home because my grandma was a nurse. On the way home from the hospital, we'd stop. We'd get the day old bread or the old bread that they'd
I
have in
love
the back.
feeding animals.
And then she had this big bin. And then after dinner, she'd start cooking the gravy, making the gravy. Because back then you made gravy. You didn't just buy the can.
Right, you
And then-
have to make a roux first. That requires butter and flour.
Totally. And then I'd sit there and break up all the bread, throw it into the gravy. You'd get it all wet and soppy.
I'd have
and
to
then
take
you'd
a
put
bite.
it out.
I'd have to be like, yeah, this is good. And leave me a little side.
But it would be so cute because they had their little black gloves and they would pick up the little pieces of bread and they'd hold them all delicate and eat the bread and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's in our nature just to, like, when I see a bunch of geese, I want to feed them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I remember that day we fed a McDonald's French fries.
and they were
I was
loving
like-
us.
They sure were. And then you and I were like,
We're out of
maybe-
French fries. Run!
No, we did that, but we also were like, is this healthy for them? Should they be taking in this much sodium?
I was at my mom's, and there was a bunch on the golf course right up against her fence.
Yeah.
French fries?
No, geese.
Oh.
And so I was like so excited.
Yes.
And I was like, Mom, do you have anything? And she's like, what? And I'm like, crackers, breadcrumbs, something. So I found those oyster crackers. So I took a box outside and I was like, and my stepdad's like, they're not going to eat those. They're not going to let you get anywhere close to them. So they're not used to people feeding them. So the closer I got to them, the more they went away.
They walked.
So I was like throwing crackers really far. And
I'm here to help
These
you.
are for you. So you're not eating rocks, you idiots.
These are $5 a box.
My mom's mad at me. Yeah.
Yeah, those geese are terrified of humans, probably from getting hit by golf balls all the time.
Oh, I could see that.
Well, but it's like you look at the ones in the tech center, and they're so used to people, they'll just walk in the middle of the street and make you wait.
Oh no, they
Right.
sure do, and I
Right.
think it's hilarious when you get somebody that's impatient
Right,
and they're trying to go around him, and it's like, where are you going to go, buddy?
Or somebody behind you that doesn't know why you
Why
stopped.
you're stopped,
And then
right.
you're like, hey, idiot, it's a family of geese.
For as much as they're in the road, you don't hear that much of somebody hitting them.
Right, so they probably do know how to skedaddle when needed.
I don't know. I want to know.
They fly away before getting hit.
Or people are now eating them.
Oh, don't say that. Look at what I caught.
Hey, I'm sure they're decent eating if you're into game.
Ew.
Gamey meat.
That's what Chick-fil-A
Maybe.
meat is, probably. That's
What? How you going to say that?
That's Jesus homophobic chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Well, we got to go wait in line. I want
Yeah, let's
free
send
Chick-fil-A
Bolte.
for a year.
Yeah,
All the
both-
way to Aurora?
Yeah, no, it's Westminster.
Oh, Westminster. Okay, you can do that.
That would be freezing, and you're not able to even make a fire or anything. I'd be so cold and miserable.
Fox 31 just did a flyover of
Yes.
it, and there's like a ton of tents. So they must be giving away like the first 100 people or something like that. you know?
Okay, well, why don't we look it up and I'll figure it out.
I tried to. I couldn't find
you
anything.
couldn't?
Find anything on it. But Chick-fil-A did it before where they gave a free year in Colorado Springs in like April or something like that.
I
So
wonder before they give it to you, they're like, make sure you're not gay.
Oh, yes.
make you say a prayer or something.
They're all kiss a guy, and you're like,
Yeah.
no. And they're like, here's your card.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I bet that's what it is. Someone texted us this morning asking if we would do Would You Rather.
Oh, yeah.
Saying you
for
guys
sure.
haven't done that. But it's open phone Friday, but I mean, maybe that we can
No,
combine the
it's
two
Today's
Thursday.
together.
Thursday, Wiggins.
Oh, it's Thursday.
So, yeah, we could definitely do Would You Rather.
Yeah.
You had Monday off and you're already thinking today's Friday?
Freaking Thursday.
Yay. Today's Thursday.
Call or text us now
I'm so excited.
on the YOLO Rum phone line.
Alexa, will you be my friend?
Of course we can be friends.
303-728-3420.
You seem very nice.
All right, so yesterday we talked to a guy named Ben, and he was the one that was having some issues.
Had his money stolen from him, his rent money by his nephew.
Right.
And
$1,200.
$1,200, which was his rent, and he had 3 kids, and didn't know how to tell his wife, and he was really broke down and distraught.
He
Yeah.
was emotional because he's like, he thought it could be a relationship ender. He thought him and his family would get evicted,
Yeah.
and
Well,
they
you
still
can't
probably
pay the
could.
bills. Right,
Right.
exactly.
So we started a GoFundMe for him, and we want to thank everybody who's kicked in for that. What's the total so far?
It's still open if you want to donate. All the links are on the Larry and Kathie social media networks, but $410, so a third of what we need to get him. I mean, even that helps him, hopefully, in the situation
Totally.
he's in. So
No, for sure, because we told him, hey, we don't know if this will get you all the money to when you need it.
Right.
However, it probably bodes well when you tell the wife, I know I'm late on the rent, but I have 400 of it, and the rest is slowly coming.
Right. Or it's easier to maybe borrow 800 than 1,200.
For sure.
Yeah.
yeah, it's an easier number to ask people for.
Right.
Totally.
Under 1,000, not over. So thank you everyone that donated.
Thank
I mean,
you.
we had people from $5, $10, $20. So everyone just comes together and we just have awesome listeners. So.
Right, and the show kind of repeats, and some people like listen at different times. So I'm assuming people that listen to the podcast version of the show are going to hear it and maybe give a couple bucks. So
That'd be cool.
give it a couple days before we think, what the total is.
Yep.
Right. And hopefully he was able to find, we need to hear from him, but hopefully he was able to find some help with the other resources that everybody had, like calling 211.
211, yeah, which was interesting. And there's Catholic services. What was that? It was
Catholic Charities.
Catholic Charities that helped out. So we can't do this for everyone. So if you're in the situation similar to him, there are options available to you. So don't get too down on yourself. So
Right, but he was smart enough to call and kind of like ask for help, and we were in the position to try to help.
Right.
when you hear a grown man cry, there's just something about it where
Totally.
you're like, what can we do? We got to help you because you just knew the impact. So
Well, then don't sit next to me while we watch Titanic.
I think I say while you ride a bike.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I try
Well, yeah.
to ride a bike.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you. The last time I rode a bike, Chris and I had matching black mountain bikes, and then
I thought you were going to say matching black tight pants, those bicycle pants.
Yes.
I was like,
yeah, we had matching outfits.
We had great outfits.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
But then I at one point, Wig asked for my bike, and it was in my garage because there were just dust on them. And I was like, "Yeah, you can take it for sure."
Right.
And then, like, Chris is just sat there. I'm sure it's not operational.
Right.
But it's
no,
like,
it probably is. You just need to get in there.
Just lube it up.
Right.
it's just really old. So then he was like, "Yeah, when's the last time you rode a bike?" And I was all, "When did I give Wiggins that bike?" He's like, 10 years ago.
So you never returned the bike?
No, he let me have it because he didn't ride it. Because even then, it was like,
Did you ride it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like my whole neighborhood has a bunch of paths and stuff. There was a point where I literally would like enjoyed working out and loved it. Like I miss it. Like it messes with you emotionally when you don't work out because you get a little bit of a high from it almost.
That's what I've heard.
No, for real. It releases endorphins.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then it stresses you out less when you can just put on anything and it looks good.
True. When you're not spending a half hour going,
that doesn't look right.
Take this off.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Right. Skinny people underestimate the joy of, or they take that for granted.
Yes,
It's
right.
like, especially super skinny people who can layer. You know what I mean?
Everything
It's like,
looks good on you.
Right. It's like you're wearing a button-down shirt, a sweater, and a jacket.
Yeah.
What?
It's funny, like, sweatpants, some people can mix it and make it look like it's just like a real outfit.
Oh, yeah.
I put on sweatpants and I'm a slob. Like, so I mean,
Right,
it's just how it looks depending on your body. And usually skinny people, anything looks good on them.
Right.
And
for
doesn't
sure.
look like a slob.
For sure, the clothes were made for them.
Yeah.
How you pull off the swag. No, it is funny how you go through a closet now. You know, ooh, if I put that on, that's not going to look right.
Right.
Like,
Well,
that's not going to be good.
You know what sucks is being in between. So like when you lost weight, let's say you kind of like, oh, okay, I can fit into this size shirt. And then when you start gaining weight, you're not all the way back up to your big shirts, but you're not in your little shirt. So you're kind of in between shirts.
Yeah, I wouldn't know this.
Oh, I have shirts in every size. You got to keep all your shirts. You never know when you're going to put it back on.
You didn't lose weight from the all veggie diet. I would have assumed that would.
Yeah,
have...
the plant-based diet.
Yeah, but I mean, I can still find plenty of things that don't have meat or cheese in them that can still put weight on you.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean.
You're kind of limited, so you're kind of forced to eat healthy. So why don't you just?
You are forced to eat healthy, but the thing is, like again, so I'm plant-based, so I'm not like neo-Nazi vegan. So, but like it's like I will have a piece of pie that I'm sure has an egg in it. You know what I mean?
Okay, right.
So I'm still eating bad in that sense. I'm not like.
But you're not doing it daily.
No. And I'm not eating any kind of animals, and I'm not eating cheese.
Daily eating plants on the daily.
Look, my shirt says "Powered by Plants."
Oh, that's good. It does.
But
were you wearing that when you're riding your bike?
Wow, Larry's really going green.
no, I was wearing my shirt that said "Powered by Pie."
Yeah. You go a block.
I really thought there'd be more downhill situations in my ride.
You know what? I don't really remember Stanley Marketplace being that far from you.
I know it's not. It really isn't. That's why this is super sad. And so yeah, like I'm just not having it. So
you have to go and do something today, work out the same muscles so you're not in too much pain tomorrow.
No,
the second day is the worst day.
It's all about the heart rate, and if you're not getting your heart rate up, you're not benefiting. So you can go on a bunch of walks and those are beneficial, but if you're not going on a brisk walk or half a run or
No, I can get my heart rate going every day just walking up the stairs.
I get my heart rate going by bringing in all the fat foods we bought.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so the neighbors like, oh, they say,
Oh my God, I love your German
right.
neighbor.
They look, they rented the bikes, but they've only been on them for 10 minutes. And they're already giving up.
Larry's
Americans.
Larry's laying in the grass.
Right.
Not moving.
Now he's eating the grass like a cow. Him and Chris are eating the grass.
So
Come here, look at this.
the yoga, I used to try to get you on this before. There's a DDP yoga that is not traditional yoga.
Down to penetrate yoga?
No.
I know what DDP.
Diamond
I
Dallas
was
Page
gonna say-
yoga.
I was going like Denver Center for Performing Arts, but
Well, it's yoga. It was originally started saying "Not Your Mama's Yoga," and you basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to my mom's yoga.
No.
All these old ladies doing you out.
right,
showing
and the
you out.
smell.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like something trapped under pantyhose.
Expired
You don't wanna be there.
uterus.
Totally.
You create your own resistance, so you
With your fat. Right, that's called going up the stairs. No, but I know you use your body.
You make your arms tense, so you make it to where it's hard to lift your arms,
okay.
and so
Resistance.
when you create this own resistance, you tricks your body into thinking that you're lifting weights, so you build up this heart rate.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I like that lifting a man. imaginary weight.
Yeah,
So-
it works for me.
So people,
Look at it.
These are 3,000 pounds.
I followed this guy since he started because when I worked overnights at the station, I would watch these videos and he would do health videos on how to cook recipes. And he showed this guy Arthur who was like couldn't walk. He's a paratrooper and then he was paralyzed and couldn't walk. And this DDP yoga helped him completely.
I remember that video because
Yes.
the guy used to have to use crutches.
That's the
Yes.
guy
Yeah.
that was on the video on YouTube
Right,
or
right.
whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
He's my favorite, most inspiring video of all time.
All it is DDP yoga, and it's just a yoga routine. So literally, you don't have to run or walk, and you can lose weight and get in shape. And then the next time you get on a bike, you're going to have the endurance and everything you need, but you're just at home working out.
Call me when you get a machine that works me out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I just want to take a nap
Right.
and wake up.
Exactly. Like put me under and then hook me to some machine that like builds me up really hardcore. And then you wake up ripped.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Wouldn't that be great?
For
yeah.
sure.
I went and there's this cool new place off of Acoma and 5th. So it's over like behind the Wizard's Chest off of Broadway.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And it's a wellness house. So everything that has to do with your wellness inside and out, they do it here. It's like Intrinsic Wellness Spa. Okay. So I went there for the Everyday Show and they have everything like they do the skincare, like so you can do lasers
Okay.
and all that stuff. But they also they do like foot detox, like where it pulls
all the bad
pulls
out,
all the
yeah.
like it,
Those
it-
like
it
Asian
cleans
feet
out
pads.
cleans out your liver, cleans out your kidney. All
Right.
this stuff comes out through the bottom of your feet. It's crazy.
Did you know that rubbing your feet, somebody rubbing your feet affects different areas of your body and
Totally.
brain? Yeah.
Pressure points and
Yeah,
all
and they
that.
show you which
All
is the
that.
best
I
for
think
relief.
it's amazing,
Yeah,
right?
It's crazy.
So they have this thing called the infrared wellness cocoon or something. So it's a cocoon that you lay in and you lay in naked, and it's got like
cameras in it so they can see.
no, it's got infrared. It's an infrared light. An infrared light, it's that red light that helps with like inflammation in your body.
Oh, wow.
And then it's lined with like these
That's
jade.
what they tell you. It's probably giving you like cancer.
No, you can look it up. You can look it up.
Are you
infrared.
are you just laying in a dry or are you in water?
No, you're just laying in dry.
Okay. I was thinking of one of those deprivation tanks.
But it burns 500 to 800 calories in the half-hour session you're in.
Shut up.
And so that's why when you said I just want to lay there and have something work, so I went and did it, and you lay down and it's not claustrophobic
Are you
at
in
all.
a room or in a box?
It's in your special room. It's in a room, and then you get into the cocoon in the room. So
then
nobody
do you
sees
throw your
you.
clothes out?
No.
Or you just
You take your clothes off, and then you get into it.
well, they're looking at you.
Right, and you open up the cocoon. It's like a clamshell almost,
Okay.
right? And then it's lined with these jade crystals, and then
Yeah, there's a camera and they're looking at you.
no, there's no
clamshell.
camera. And then all of a sudden, like it starts to vibrate too, so that kind of shakes like your lymph nodes, and like it kind of like jogs you like.
It's like when you're fat, you feel fat and you go over train tracks.
But and then you can wear like a brain tap on while you're in it, so you rest for a half hour.
What
It
year is this? Like
heats you up.
2,100?
It's
Like,
cool. It's so cool.
I saw this machine in Total Recall.
No, it's so cool. Actually, we just aired it yesterday, so I'm going to post it to my social media today.
How did you feel? Any certain way?
When I got out after the half hour, and I think I definitely fell asleep because I think I was snoring.
Somebody go get that lady.
But no, it
Is it
turns
heat?
off.
Is it
it's
hot?
Heat. It
So
gets
you're
hot.
sweating balls.
But there's a fan on your face,
hope
and it's
not.
not and it's not like close to you like a coffin, so you don't feel claustrophobic.
Do you feel
don't-
like you're like in any way around the last person that was in there?
No,
Okay.
no, because it all gets rechanged out
Okay.
because it's a sheet,
Okay.
and then yeah. But but when you wake up, it's just so after I got out of it, and you're like, God, I'm hot. Once you like a few seconds later, you're like, wow, it's like you feel energized.
Okay.
You feel relaxed. It was a really cool feeling.
So we need
And
these
then
in our
I'm
basement.
like 800 calories. Let's see, that's a medium blizzard.
So she went right to Wendy's
Dairy
and got
Queen.
a blizzard. So wait a minute.
The Royale.
It really burns that much just by you sweating?
Because
Okay.
of the infrared light, and then the shaking that it does, like it just like starts to loosen up stuff that's but it doesn't shake you like
I'm seeing your boobies going.
yeah, it doesn't shake you like that.
Like when you're,
it's just a mild
like
vibration.
a ride at Universal.
No, it's not like that at
it's
all.
like when all the towels go to one side of your washing machine.
Right. It's not like that. It's not like that.
And then it spits you out naked in the hallway.
Where am I? What year is it?
Right, next.
Blazin' Hit Radio.
Good morning, you guys.
Now with more us.
You rock.
Better music, less commercials, more Larry and
I
Kathie.
just love you both.
So what's your deal breaker?
My deal breaker?
Yeah, I mean,
Smoking cigarettes.
yeah, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
For sure.
What's your deal breaker?
You voted for Trump?
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. I mean, like, I can get along with Trump voters. My brother-in-law's one. My stepdad's one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to wake up next to one.
True. That's very true.
Right, because my gay husband would be supporting somebody who doesn't support us.
Right, that's true.
Right,
So-
now it's awkward.
Wiggins, do you have a deal breaker?
Mine was this girl who believed in Adam and Eve.
Oh, okay.
And we went on a
So
date, and
too
she was
religious.
like, I guess she had to have been religious, but she was like,
A lot of people believe in Adam and Eve.
yeah, but she believes that's how man started.
I know, but there's a lot of people that believe.
Totally, yes. But that's a deal breaker
That
for
was
you.
a deal breaker for me. 'Cause
In
I was
fact,
just
I
like,
would
it
say
doesn't
there's-
make any sense.
There's more people probably that believe that than don't, I would imagine.
Yeah, for
In
sure.
some form. Because if you look at all religions, they all have a variation of that.
Yeah.
Did you know that, it's like when Bill Maher did Religulous, or I've seen enough documentaries, all religions have that story.
No, for sure.
The tree, the talking thing, and the blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. So some people look at the Bible as it's a book of stories, and the moral of the story is, and some people are like, no, the man lived in the whale.
Yeah. Well, see,
Yeah.
I don't mind religion. If they have a religion, that's fine. It's just that particular story has.
Are you kidding? So you would date somebody that believed that the guy lived in the whale, but when it comes to Adam and Eve, you're like, I can't handle that.
How about if they believed in the two of every animal on the boat thing?
No, I can do that.
Okay, come on. That was totally real.
I'm like, well, then where's the boat? Where's the boat?
Oh, they found pieces of it. They found
I've
pieces
seen
of the
that.
ark.
I've seen
yeah,
that.
right.
Yeah.
And they finally found the place where where Jesus' body was laid.
Right.
For the
You believe that, but you don't
resurrection.
believe that Hitler escaped. Come on.
Come on, Hitler did not escape. Those were other Germans that went down
They
to
did. No Germans had
Argentina.
that. No, you got to watch
No,
the documentary.
I don't believe you say no Germans had that money. Of course they had that
They
money.
didn't have the
killed-
resources
They
you
killed
did.
millions of people and took from them. You're going to get some money in your pocket.
How would they have the people to do the construction for them? They don't have the power or
You
authority over
go down there
people.
with all
Yeah,
of
but
the
see-
nice silver and gold you stole from all those nice Jewish people that you killed,
And it's not like-
then you sell it
you
and
remain
go
hidden.
again.
You can't. You have to remain hidden.
Right, so you give it to some of those nice villagers to help you build that bunker, and then you hide.
Oh, you believe in Adam and Eve?
No, but the thing is, if Hitler couldn't go down there and like start making big construction plans and be like, put the basement here.
Right.
He had to go like be on the down low.
Yeah.
Definitely shaved his mustache,
Right.
grew his hair out.
Gotta love her.
Right, dyed it blonde.
If you watch enough on him, like, and I'm not claiming him because I'm gay, and I'm not thinking it's great that he's gay,
Right.
possibly. But my theory is that he was very awkward around women, and he used to live before he, when he got out of like the service or something like that. He lived in an artisan community,
What-
and he was
meaning?
like the cool hip where
Oh, okay.
artisans live and people like artists and
Theater?
painters and stuff like
Okay.
that. He was really into opera. He went like once a week.
Hitler?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he loved the dramatic and the sets and the music
Oh,
and
wow.
the dramaticness of it. And he also was, an artist. He sketched and stuff like that. But he also lived in like a hostel with a budde.
Okay,
And so like he was like
so he hung out at like a liberal arts college.
kind of he really did.
That's crazy.
And then, he got all political and
that was that.
yeah, and then he was like on a bunch of drugs by the time he was like toward the end.
Oh,
Like barbiturates
like for
and
pain
stuff.
medicine or
Pain
to-
medicine.
oh,
He had some sort of sexual disease.
That's
crazy.
him old. And that's the only photo that they found throughout this whole evidence was him as an old guy, and that was taken in like the 50s.
That does
or
look like
60s.
him. See, he shaved his mustache.
Oh, yeah.
And it explains why he was kind of like about the pageantry, because when he was like, I'll be in charge of the parade and these buildings are going to have red flags and then I want a big thing here.
yes,
No,
oh,
that was
yes.
his doing. And he spent,
Hi, Larry.
right. When he was not doing official business, he had models made and he was always like, and this is going to be here, just like I did Avery and Gianna's dollhouse. And so he just like, and even toward the end, they said when he was in his bunker, he had taken some of those models down and would just be all all sad and
Playing
and
with them.
but telling people this is how the square is going to look when we win the war. We are going to do this, and there'll be drapes here. And
Meanwhile, right up on the surface,
right there they are.
bombs exploding.
And it's all, then we will have the Hitler youth.
Excuse me.
The boys preferably in the blonde hairs, blue eyes, do jumping jacks in front of me.
Oh,
Yeah, that's him seeing the Hitler youth. He was weird. Sorry. Again, not trying to claim him for my team. I just think, and he had a weird thing with women, and the one, like,
I thought he
Ava
was
Braun
with
was
the-
his
yeah.
niece. Yeah.
Oh, she was?
Or his cousin.
Okay, his cousin.
Something like that. She was related.
Right. But
And-
she was part of his bloodline, which that's what he was all about, was purity of bloodlines.
Well, and she was such a secret that she had no life. She had to, like, seriously, like, be kept away, and she'd be in, like, his, like, house from far away, and she's all alone.
What?
Yeah, and he'd be, like, pop in once in a while. Hey,
I
what's
thought
up?
she was always hanging out with him. That's why everyone knew that was
There
his
wasn't,
girl.
like, when he was coming up, but when once he became the Fuhrer,
Oh.
it was like,
Hide her.
I'll see you in a month. I
Oh.
gotta go take over the world.
And yeah, right. Who knows who he probably wasn't faithful.
Right.
So this real fast, we were talking about losing weight and workout programs and Larry
Right.
trying to ride a bike for a mile.
The seat was really uncomfortable. I didn't know if that was because I am not used to riding a bike or if that was just a really uncomfortable seat.
Who knows? But this one says on the text line, "Good morning, y'all. Truck driver Nate. Hey, truck driver Nate. Long time no hear. Wiggins, you should check out Body Spartan. Have you heard of that?
No.
Yeah, it's an adult film starring.
We
right.
are Sparta.
Body Spartan.
They have a few different programs for weight loss, muscle gain. Gabe Tuft is the owner, and the way he motivates you to work out is incredible.
That's the last thing I want. Somebody to motivate me. That's why I won't sign up with a trainer.
Right.
Because I know they're going to call. And then once they call, I'm going to be like, like, let it go to phone, man.
Totally right.
I can't today.
Then you look it up on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, even Snapchat. My girl got on the Genesis program. She lost 30 pounds and half of her fat percentage. I got on the Unleashed program, and I've gotten swole. Watch a couple videos. Tell me what you think. Body Spartan wig.
All right, yeah, I'll check that out.
Send us some pics. Let's see what you guys look like.
Oh, yes. We want to see the new you.
I want to see you swole.
Did you see the couple? They were a big couple, and they took the engagement photos. And they are mad because the photographer cut down like 30 pounds off of her.
On Photoshop?
Yes, Photoshop. And then he thinned out the dude's belly. So the pictures, the after, they're still big people.
Okay.
But the before, you can definitely see they were bigger.
Right.
And so, but to me, I'm like, well, that's you're still big. You're still representing for the big people,
Right.
And-
It's not like
but
he made you 100
right,
pounds each.
Right. But he took off like the dude's upper belly as
Right.
opposed to
And left
all
his
the
lower
right,
belly.
Right. And he took off.
I would appreciate
He took
that.
off her third arm, and she only had two arms.
It used to be a roast there, but now it's a small ham.
Exactly right. Like you're still representing for the fat people.
So they were mad?
Oh, they were pissed.
They're
were
like,
we didn't
people
ask
have been
you.
coming up to us saying, I thought you lost weight.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking is that it was going to be that obvious
Like, right,
of a thing.
Right.
Like, you went from like a size 18 size to an 8.
Right.
And that wasn't the case at all. They probably went from like a 22 to an 18.
Right, they do that
it
to
still
Mariah
looked-
Carey.
Again, you still looked big.
Right.
So I was like, you should have just gone with it. You look good. But they were like, we didn't ask to be photoshopped.
So
We don't-
it went viral, and now they're like suing the
Of
photographer.
course they are, yeah. But I personally want that photographer's number.
What happened to that Photoshop picture of the family?
Oh, it turned out to be a hoax.
Oh,
It
okay.
was all a hoax.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was terrifying because they looked so scary. Like, that should be a movie by itself.
Yeah.
The family that looks like that.
Totally.
That movie Vanilla Sky where Tom Cruise wore the mask, that's kind of what they look like, where it's just like
Right.
an animated
Was that with Cameron
character.
Diaz?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the mask
Oh
though,
my
that you're
God.
That
talking
movie was
about.
exhausting. All he does is run in that whole movie.
Right, and she
runs
just goes,
down the
"What are
street.
you doing?
Right, he runs over there. He
Why
loves
are
to
they
run.
chasing us?
What are you running from, Tom? The truth?
Back to deal breakers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's the top 10 deal breakers. Let us know what your deal breaker
Oh, that's
is. Oh yeah,
terrifying.
that is a creepy
Yeah.
mask.
It's almost like a mannequin face.
Yeah, totally.
That movie was stupid.
It was very
It
stupid.
was just like
the fact that you even reference it.
Did
I'm
he
just
wear
kidding.
that a lot in the movie?
That was like, yeah.
I guess
and then
I never sat through the whole movie.
It's terrifying.
You
I mean,
don't
it's
want
not
to.
terrifying.
It's not
I mean,
terrifying. It's just stupid.
It's long and boring, and it makes no sense.
It's about an egomaniacal, like, guy who's all about himself. And it's not really. It's like Tom Cruise's biopic.
That terrible movie he did with Cameron Diaz, where they're on the motorcycle and all the action.
I thought that was it. This isn't Vanilla
this is a
Sky?
different movie.
Oh, my bad.
That movie is better than Vanilla Sky, but Vanilla Sky was their first movie together.
Oh, okay.
And then they did a second
Then,
one.
yeah, I have no idea. Okay. I guess I missed out on some Tom Cruise movies.
Come on.
Magnolia, I never saw that one.
That was stupid and weird.
That
It
was
was
bad.
raining
Movies
frogs.
suck.
Yeah. Okay, so they rained frogs?
Yeah, for a whole good part of the movie, it starts raining frogs.
Okay.
And it's like it's a weird movie. And that movie he was with, where he wears the masks and has sex with Nicole Kidman,
Eyes
that
Wide
was
Shut.
weird.
Yeah.
He's weird.
They wanted to work with Stanley Kubrick, the director.
Yeah,
remember?
he's weird.
Right, he's totally weird. So we're going to do deal breakers, but maybe we have to come back and do it.
No, we'll just quickly go through it.
Okay. The top 10.
Okay, then we'll come back to it.
You're listening to Blazin' Hit Radio.
How long has it been since you,
Me? Are you kidding me? Oh, put that away. It's been too long.
Exactly. I'm gonna leave this for you. It's kind of amazing. You take a few hits, get your sea legs back, and, we'll finish the rest of it together.
Sponsored by The Green Solution.
Before we get in the deal breaker, we got a call right here, 303-728-3420, YOLO Rum phone line.
Blazin' Hit, who's this?
Hey, what's up, man?
Who's this?
This is Ben.
Hey, Ben, what's up? What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I was calling you guys. I called, man, everywhere yesterday, man. I kept getting doors shut in my face everywhere. Everybody said, if you didn't call by the 10th, they can't help you nowhere.
Like they give all the money out to everybody else.
Right. So you got to remember that for next month if you need it. But where are we at on the GoFundMe? Wait?
Dude, we got $410 for you so far. We're going to try to keep that. When is your rent actually due? On the 1st, or is it past due?
It was already due, man. It's like I got to turn it in no later than tonight.
Okay, so here's the thing. We're at 4 something. We're going to continue to promote it on our networks, talk about it today on the show. But, we might have to segue you to Adult Film Star to get that money.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Is that a no?
Yeah. What's crazy is who's in your scene with you.
A bad place be funny as hell. That's the crazy thing.
Right. He doesn't know he's shooting the scene with Tyrone yet.
It pays
like
extra.
Tyrone.
Yeah, it pays extra though. It's like,
oh yeah,
I'll be running.
Well,
yeah. So I'm sorry. I don't know how else we can help.
we're getting you closer. So hopefully we'll push it again today, and we'll see where we end up.
A lot.
Wait, say that again.
You guys have done a lot. I do thank you guys, man. You guys made me feel better, even though I wasn't so great yesterday, man. You guys just made me laugh,
Oh, for sure, man. Well, stay up, and we're going to keep pushing it, and let's see what we can do. Maybe we could at least double it. 800's better than, 400's better than nothing, and then if we can push it another couple $100, that's better than nothing, get you closer.
Okay.
So and we might end it by 11 just because you said it's due tonight. I don't know exactly how long the process is to get that money to turned around. So
and I would imagine we have a good listenership, and I would hope that maybe there's like one wealthy listener out there who has like $1,100 in their ashtray. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
one of those people.
You don't need that insanely purse, rich. That 15th purse.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. That could just take the rest of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we'll see what happens. Do Larry and Kathie have one rich listener?
Yeah.
When we would do the topic before, and our listener base, there was always a good mix of people that had money, people that were dirt poor, and a bunch of people in the middle. So we've definitely talked to listeners who have nannies and big.
No, we have them. Remember? Right. Yeah, we had a guy who I had his number, and he's like, whenever you have somebody that needs help, I'll be more than happy to help.
Right.
And I used him twice for people to help them get rent, and
right.
he
I
didn't
was one of
mind
those
at all.
people. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, unfortunately, he fell on hard times, so he can't help anymore.
Well, so hopefully somebody listening now that wasn't listening yesterday or whatever.
Well, and if you weren't listening yesterday, Ben is a good guy, 3 kids, married. He had a situation where he tried to help out his nephew, and it's one of those things where you try to help someone who everyone tells you don't help that person,
right.
but you believe it's family, and so he tried to help out his nephew, and his nephew did him dirty and basically took his rent money from him and his family. So if you're listening to this and didn't know yesterday, that's who Ben is. And again, $410 we have. We'll throw another Instagram post and social media up with the link up, see what we can do. But anything you could do to help.
You know what? I would even venture to say that, like, for somebody that gives a big chunk, or if anybody wants to get the rest of it, we would personally take that person to dinner. You know what I mean? Like, you win a dinner with us.
Okay, why don't we just use the money we're going to spend on dinner and put it towards the GoFundMe?
Because I'm getting that sponsored.
Oh, okay.
We'll be at the Wiener
dinner?
Schnitzel.
I see what
the
you're
Wiener
saying.
Schnitzel on Colorado.
I see what you're saying.
No. We'll figure something out. But I mean, if somebody came through like that, I would feel like I'd want to do something like that.
No,
for them.
for sure, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Somebody who's very heroic and kicked in like $400. I'd be like, what?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And not that the
I'll
$20.
go mow the lawn, dude. I'll go mow the lawn. I'll go shovel. I don't care what I gotta do. I'll do whatever.
Okay, well, we'll take you up on that. We've got lots of duties.
Tyrone just called, and he wants that adult film with you, and he said he was willing to do $800 for that.
Right. You better keep that shovel handy.
What?
I don't know. Hold on to the handle. I don't know. Hit Tyrone on the head.
You know, I remember, and I was thinking about it yesterday. There's always like, people asking for money off of 225 and Parker Road when I get off. And one day there was a guy there that I'd never seen before, and his sign said, "Need $620 to make rent." Fell on hard times, right? And then every time he got money, he would cross it out.
Oh, nice.
And so you knew exactly that he was the real deal.
Now he only needs $200.
And you knew it was
Right.
the real deal. Like, he literally was a working person that needed the money to make that rent. And so he'd scratch it off and do another total. And I was like, I kind of respect that, Like, I get it. Sometimes it's hard and you just need it for once. And I gave him 20.
You know what? One time I was coming up Monaco, and I was headed north, and it was Monaco and Colfax, and there was a homeless guy there, and he was really handsome. Like, he didn't look homeless in that sense.
Okay.
Listen, it didn't make any sense.
Right.
So I was going to give him a couple bucks. I was like, this is a setup.
Right.
I was like, this is Dateline or something. Because he was just a handsome guy.
Yeah.
I was like, but like sometimes I look at like people that are in that situation, I'm like, they got pretty good clothes.
Right. Oh, no, you do.
Sometimes
you judge the people.
Right. And that one time I caught the guy that like had a 4Runner parked around the corner.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes I'm a little leery on the stand outside people.
Right. So Ben, I feel horrible. Is there anyone in your family you can ask to help you make the rest of it up?
Man, my family's all on hard times too.
Yeah,
I get
totally.
everybody. And yeah, it's like when it rains, it pours, man. It's on everybody,
Yeah, no, I get it for sure.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you know. We're going to push it, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much, man.
All right, Ben.
thank
Stay
you.
up, man.
All right.
Bye.
All right, bye, Ben. So I guess we can get into the top 10
For sure.
deal breakers.
Yeah.
Is that the right
No, that's a good
transition?
segue. It's a pivot.
Not being able to pay your rent might be a deal breaker.
The thing is, we were able to remind people that weren't listening yesterday, or the people that did listen, that we're still got a goal. We're still trying to help this guy out.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's show that there's still good in the world, especially with the people of Colorado. If you're able to help out, we have the link at the Larry and Kathie J Facebook page. We have it on Larry Ulibarri's Instagram, Kathie J's Instagram. So just do what you can to help out.
If you're dating somebody or you're hanging out with somebody and you like them, but they don't have empathy for people, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
If you don't have empathy for animals or people that are, in need.
Yeah,
that's
it
a deal
means
breaker.
you're a psychopath.
Right.
No, really, psychopaths care about love, sex, and money. That's all they talk about.
Love, sex, and money.
Uh-huh. Like,
Okay.
so when they're telling stories, they'll bring up, I'm sorry, not love.
Oh.
Sex, money, and food.
Oh, that's our whole show.
Right. Oh, great. So I sit in here with two psychopaths every morning.
Oh, she didn't put herself in that group.
No.
She did not put herself in that.
Because psychopaths lack empathy. They never talk about family, religion, spirituality, love. They never talk about any of that.
Right.
Well, that's me. So that's why I'm not in the group with you two.
Well, we talk about love and that stuff all the time like that, too.
Agreed.
Okay.
So food, sex, and money. If somebody's like
sex.
When they start telling stories, if they're like blah 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 blah, and I was eating blah 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 blah, and it cost blah 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 blah, you might be like,
right. Everybody knows like a superficial person that you're like, oh, okay,
right.
Is there anything else underneath there?
Right. Those are psychopaths. But so deal breakers. You want to get into it now?
Yeah,
sure.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
All right. Top 10 deal breakers.
That's why I sagged to deal breaker. I said, somebody that doesn't have empathy. Deal breaker. That was my sag.
Deal breakers that are most likely to immediately end a date. If somebody is racist or intolerant of others.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Deal breaker.
Somebody that's inconsiderate or rude.
Definitely.
I can't handle that. Why would you want to hang out with that? Right. Somebody that's got bad hygiene.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, because you're just getting to know each other, and there's going to be lots of getting to know each other, and if you stink, no way.
Yeah, because, a lot of times they're like, well, you should learn to compromise. You're too picky. These things, it's okay if you just say goodbye.
Right, these were all on board so far.
Yeah, a guy or a girl, people that are sexist.
For sure.
Yes.
I mean, okay.
Someone that makes it clear they're not over their ex.
Yeah,
that is
lame.
a deal breaker, because what are you going to do? You can't help them.
For sure, and there's still pictures of them up, and they were hotter than you.
Yeah, I have no place here.
Yeah, no,
I'm leaving. Someone that's closed-minded.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Especially in this day and age.
Some of the most closed-minded people that I have in my life that happen to be family I can't get rid of, they think they know everything. But they're so closed-minded, it kills me.
Right.
But yet they think they're the smartest one in the room.
But then they're not. They're
they're totally
actually
not.
the opposite.
It's annoying. It's an annoying habit. Like, I can't even have conversations with them.
Right, because it's a cocky, arrogant thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
People that do drugs. I'm assuming more meth and opioids and those kind of drugs.
Well, you know what? Even to marijuana, even as well received, or it is. A guy just posted on on his Facebook. He was like a gay guy, and he's like, my husband doesn't like me smoking pot. So that's still an issue for people.
Oh, yeah. No.
And I said, hey, because some people try to make that a deal breaker. At some point, Chris tried to make it a deal breaker with me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
what are you talking about?
No,
we're going to have to break up.
No. I was like, please don't make that the deal breaker. I was like, I'll be a more respectful smoker or whatever. But I mean, my thing is like, if you're making your bills and
that's exactly it.
Right. And you're a hard worker and you can afford it.
Right.
Go for it.
But if it's interrupting your day and you can't get bills and stuff paid,
right.
Exactly. What good is it? Obviously, you're going to bring me down with you. I don't want to be part of this. This is a deal breaker.
For sure. And that would go for alcohol or all the other hardcore drugs.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right. No.
And even then, it's like pot to me is in a different category than I'm not encouraging somebody to be like, I'm a functioning cokehead.
Right.
It's where they do it.
Although we've had people call in that they were functioning cokeheads, and we were like, what?
Yeah.
What are you wasting? You're wasting your money on it.
Until they pass medical cocaine, I'm not for this.
Right. People that have bad manners. I agree. I can't handle somebody that
doesn't say thank you.
Yeah.
Right, for sure.
What about someone who eats the food off your plate and just grabs? Is that bad manners?
If it's too soon, if you're in a relationship, then you're cool. Like, you don't care if Mr. Efficient eats from your plate.
No, I don't think that's a deal breaker.
Would they grab your fries and start eating off your stuff?
You wouldn't like that?
If it's new, I'd be like, boundary.
Yeah.
Like you have to earn that kind of closeness.
Yeah, but that's a communication issue. It's not deal breaker.
No, right. You're right. But I mean, it is kind of like, oh, you thought we were that close this soon?
I mean, right. Grabbing food isn't like these things. The reason why to me they're deal breakers is because they are ingrained in the person. Like if they're closed-minded, if they have bad manners, bad hygiene, that's like the person themselves that you can't fix.
Right, but everybody's got their own kind of deal breaker. So everybody's got like a weird deal breaker. Like I don't like girls that have unkept toes. That's a deal breaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's kind of weird.
Right. Or something like he said. But to me, If somebody's picking off your plate, that's different if they want to bite off your fork or your sandwich.
Okay.
Or their mouth touched where your mouth was. But I guess if you're having sex
Like when
with
a
them-
night girl took a bite of my Chipotle burrito, that
Right.
was really weird.
No, that's just bad manners.
God.
Right.
That's
Deal
just-
breaker.
It wasn't even a
Right,
date.
right,
That
but
was
I
just
gonna say,
a
you're not dating
coworker.
her, so it's not a deal breaker. But
Right.
that was
It was
weird.
a deal breaker for co-working. I was
Yeah.
just like, put her in a category. I was like, really?
And it's not. And the thing about that burrito is that's not a food item that you just like. Hey, I'm going to get a clean fork and I'm just going to try something out of your thing.
It's where you're almost like you're their stranger and your mouth has been the same exact.
Right.
man.
I just think that's brave.
Right. She left some DNA in your burrito and then you had to
Gross.
eat it. That's
Yeah,
gross.
right.
Yeah. So deal breaker for me sometimes would be if you don't like my family. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Why would I deal with it?
Right, for sure. And if somebody was like, "Oh, I don't like dogs."
Yeah, dogs. Huge
Yeah.
deal breaker.
Yeah.
Somebody that's flaky or shows up late. Now I'm always late. so
I used to be the late guy. And,
You were.
And the thing is, when you get late, that rep keeps with you.
Yeah.
Like I'm now on time guy. I'm early guy. It's annoying how early I am. Like I hate how early I am to stuff.
What?
But
You're early now?
Yes, it's annoying. Like you get to my remotes at Larry Miller Nissan 10 minutes before it starts. Or
That's
15
normal.
minutes.
That's what you
Yeah.
should be doing.
But that's
No.
not the Larry Ulibarri used to get there right at
Or
11.
15 minutes after
Right.
the old Larry Ulibarri. So for me to be this guy, I'm like okay with it. But the rep still follows you because people go, "You're always late." And I'm like, I haven't been late in 10 years.
I know, but we all remember we'd be
I
calling
know.
you where you were supposed to be somewhere, and you,
yeah, for sure. I'm almost there, and I'm
we would
leaving my
hear
house.
we'd hear your
The garage
car
door closing.
Yeah, or we'd hear the beep 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 of you like starting your car.
For sure. And it took me a long time to get right with that, but I could see how people would think that's a deal breaker.
Right. And I said earlier, smoking cigarettes is a deal breaker, yet two of the guys that I had like long-term relationships were smokers, were cigarette smokers.
When I first came
So-
out, I was like in bars for the first time and stuff, and I was like, I'd like kiss a guy that had just smoked, and I thought it was kind of like cool or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and now I'm like, vomit! But I mean, that was my first foray into...
But it's hard because you know that it's such a an addiction. You
Oh,
know,
no,
it's
for sure.
cigarette smoking, nicotine. They say it's horrible.
I know, but like for every generation that goes by, like less and less people smoke.
Thank God.
But we were still caught up in the tail end of where it was normal. Like people would smoke in their office
Yeah.
or like on the news.
On the airplane.
Right. So we're at the tail end of that. And it's like, it was just so disgusting, like to think of being in a plane there where everybody's smoking.
A friend of mine smokes in their car, and I don't think that they realize that it's like,
Ugh.
once you get
It's
into
gnarly.
it, even if they're not smoking, when you get into it,
It
you're
still
like,
smells.
it makes your mouth be like, what is that? What is
No,
going
no,
on?
for
here?
sure.
for
Like Larry Miller
Gross.
Nissan, they've said, when they get a car that was a smoker, like they have to do like all this extra work to try to get the smell out because it's just trapped in carpet. Ugh.
I remember going to my Aunt Mary's house and Uncle Louie, and they just smoked constantly in their house. And their
Uncle
house
Louie!
had a smell that I could not identify because I didn't know what that was, but that was just years and years.
Smoking.
Deal
Right.
breaker.
And back in the day, they probably had that shag carpeting. So
Exactly. Hit us up 303-728-3420 if you have a deal breaker.
Yeah, what's your deal breaker? You could text us, you can give us a shout out, or just give us a call.
Even if it's superficial or super deep, we'll take it.
And if you want to help out Ben, we have all those links on our Facebook pages and our Twitter accounts, and we're going to put it on Kathie J and Larry's Instagram as well.
Blazin' Hit Radio.
Better music,
Less commercials.
more Larry and Kathie.
I'm trying to be healthier. We all are.
Riding a bike and stuff.
Right, for sure. So I got us each a health bar. Wig, will you hand me that one? That's right.
a health bar,
The
The one on the
Hershey's
top.
Gold? Oh.
Yeah. That one.
What?
the Cliff Bar. No,
This is the new health bar.
all
It's
right.
not a health bar.
It's
So
Called Hershey's Gold.
Okay.
Okay. And it's got peanuts and pretzels for protein.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right, it's
It's got to be
caramel.
better than a Snickers bar.
It's a caramel
But you're
cream.
saying- oh wow.
I know. So that's a health bar. We'll probably down a
How did
little
you do
bit
this?
of
I
that.
told you I was trying not to do
Oh,
sugar.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god, but that looks so good.
Are you
sorry.
really? Are you
Maybe
really,
just
Kathie? Is
one
that
piece.
really what you're
Yeah.
trying? Good for you. That's like supposed to
That's
be
the biggest,
game
hardest thing
changer.
ever,
Yeah,
right.
And if you do it, you lose weight like
I don't
crazy.
know about that, but all I know is it makes you feel like you have the flu. because it's...
Because your withdrawals.
Right. The withdrawals are stupid.
You get the shakes.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Sugar.
I love a shake. Yes. What are you going to put in it?
Sugar,
Yeah.
hair, cinnamon.
Okay.
Oh, right. There's the
Gray hair.
biscochito.
Hey, so wait, yeah, I want to go on an
What's gray hair
anti-sugar
mean?
thing. I'll do that.
Well, you just...
Would you gonna do veggie diet and then no sugar?
Well, no, I mean, like, I would still eat fruit, but not, like, eat.
See, that's the thing is so much has sugar in it. Like apples have sugar
You have
in
to pay
it.
attention to everything.
But
I
what
know, but
I'm
isn't that
trying
a
to do
good
is
sugar?
just what I'm trying to do is just the extra sugar because I was, hey, Kathie deserves a candy bar today, sugar girl. So I'm just stopping all of that.
Kathie,
And we're going, and then we'll continue to break it down.
Kathie bleeds marshmallow fluff if you cover.
Absolutely, and
she
Slurpee.
farts Nutella.
Slurpee. Now, are you having your daughters do that with you? What's the reasoning? Just
Oh, it's just
for
me.
you to- it's just
right.
you.
Because
you
it
gotta
was
do
like I
something.
can take out gluten, I could take out whatever, and my big crutch is sugar.
We
I mean,
talked
come
to
on
a
now.
comedian, Dean Del Rey here, Larry and I, and he came through and I followed him on Instagram. He cut out sugar and he talks about it all the time. And I should show you a before and after picture because when he came in, the clips that I had of him, he was definitely a heavy set guy.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. He just looked like an average heavy set guy. He came in, I was like, oh my God, he's dying.
Right.
I was like,
Are you sick?
Right.
You got the shakes.
And then the more I followed him on Instagram and Twitter is just because he's all, I'm so glad I cut sugar out of my diet. And that's what it
Oh,
was.
it sucks.
So then, do you have to cut out things that turn into sugar? Like, do you have to watch your pasta and your
Again,
bread?
I'm not going there yet.
Okay.
I'm just, like
A detox of the junk.
because I'm such a junk girl.
Right.
Like, you know.
The people at 7-Eleven know her.
Yes, they do. The
They're
one
like,
guy
look,
did.
Kathie, I've got your Slurpee ready. Right.
Okay, so
And I know where all the 7-Elevens in the city are.
Right. Everyone's like,
So-
hi. Like, she walks in unison. People are, hi, Kathie.
Hey, Kathy.
I hope this gives you encouragement because
Oh, hey,
this.
that's the dude that's up on the picture that you guys have
Yeah,
autographed.
so this Dean Del Rey. Okay, so this is him before,
His
right?
leather jacket's a little tight.
It's a little
Right,
tight.
that's his leather special.
And this is him after.
What?
And it's a transformation because and so through him I kind of realized, oh wow, I was like, sugar is just it is just so bad
He's
for
got to
you.
do something different. I mean, besides just cutting
No,
out sugar.
and that's what he said when he was in here. He just cut out sugar.
Here's
Okay,
what
well, we'll
sucks
see
is
about that.
Sugar is so tied into so many events. Like, you and I are like occasion eaters.
Yeah.
Like, we like to have like it's about family and comfort food and stuff like that. So it's like, it sucks because sugar's like, it's all about Halloween. Sugar's all about Christmas.
Sugar's all about Kathy's every day.
Right, exactly.
So, like,
it's
yesterday
but I'm just saying, it sucks because you could sit there and get in the mode, and then here you go, around the corner comes Sugarland.
Right,
like,
well, Valentine's Day is around the corner.
Exactly.
Right. And,
It's
I love my little Whitman samples.
yeah, right.
My Russell Stouffer's. I love them.
I knew somebody like those, where you like bite one and you're like, oh, I don't like that one, put it back.
What, Russell Simmons?
No, those, like, all those random creams.
Russell Simmons bit 5 women, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
I think the count is 8.
Yeah.
They did not like the creamy center.
No,
Not at
they
all.
didn't. They didn't
Right.
want it. They were caramel girls.
Yeah, you got to get the right box of those chocolates. I hate to backtrack and talk about chocolate, but
Please does not.
She's trying to avoid
Oh, yeah,
sugar.
that's right.
You're like,
No, I mean,
let me
but-
talk about meat to you. Well, I guess you tolerate
I
meat.
can talk
pretty
about
much.
meat.
You talk about meat.
Chick-fil-A all day
you talk about it
yesterday.
all
For sure.
day. Yeah.
But
So
like yesterday, I went with picked up my stepmom and we went and had Mexican food. And as we're leaving, they got those awesome, yummy candies right there on the desk. And
Oh, the Mexican candy.
Well, usually it would be nothing for me to grab one, and like a little dessert thing
Right.
on the way out.
but you just had flan.
Right.
Right.
And so the girls were like, so I gave them theirs. And then I'm like, ugh, Kathie, really? Normally I'd stick 2 more in my pocket. And when they fall asleep driving, I would reach in my pocket, pull them out, start eating them. But I didn't.
Avery.
Right, exactly. I would.
Right,
Because
but
as
it's
soon
the
as I
sound of the
do,
wrapper that wakes him up.
Avery goes, "What you got up there?" I'm like, "Oh,
Does she say that?
Nothing. Yeah, of course he does.
Right, that's like when before you have kids, when you go to break into some chips and your dog's all, oh, I guess we're having
Yeah,
something.
that's
And
exactly
they come in the
it.
room.
Right.
Now it's with kids, they can verbally say, I heard that.
Exactly. Hey, what you got in your mouth? It's like you think that you're just trying to talk to them and they won't notice it in your mouth, but no, they notice it.
Yeah, that's what's killing me about those two is that you can't trick them as easy. So you'd be
can't.
like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, you said after this,
Right.
we'd go to the park. And I was like, damn it.
Right. Yeah, I hate it.
Well, we're a bunch of quitters. Larry quit meat.
Right.
Kathy quit sugar, and I
know
quit
we're going
weed.
into the weekend, so we'll see how long this lasts.
Yeah.
No, I encourage you to do it because I would like to do that too. like cut out kind of junky crap just to get back in the zone.
Well, you're on the treadmill.
I know. And then the thing is that all you have to do is remember there's like so many amazing things that you haven't eaten in the vegetable fruit section in a long time. You'll be amazed.
So is that what?
It's still not as fun as the 7-Eleven aisle.
By the way, I made my own queso. It's if you see those tasty videos, they have one
It probably tastes like that gross Chipotle queso.
No. I haven't tried that, but it's a vegan and it's basically, cashews and it's some vegetables and you grind it up and it really does taste like queso. It's amazing.
No, don't.
Is that kind of the diet you need now, Kathy? It's the all vegetables pretty much? I mean, by cutting out sugar, what is your diet now?
You guys, look, it's not cutting out sugar of the foods that sugar's already in. I can't even start to begin to think that way.
She's just cutting out the in-between junk.
And mine is candy bars, treats off of people's desks, cookies, like those things.
So you're just not snacking.
Consume my day, and so I just cutting those out.
She's trying to take the first initial step of cutting out all that extra.
Right.
So like we get enough.
Right. Let's not even get into pasta turns to sugar after carbs.
It's like when I quit pot.
I can't even go there.
It's totally like when I quit pot because I was like, I just smoke like 4 or 5 times a day. I'm going to cut it down to once or twice.
Right.
And then one time after 3 months. And then, now I'm like, I'm not smoking pot.
Yeah. So maybe in a couple of months, I could
You'll get to that point. You wean yourself off.
Right, yeah. You know that apple, that banana. I can't even get there. Right now, an apple and banana is good.
Well, I was totally thinking that.
You know what's not going to be around in a couple months?
What?
This limited edition caramel cream Hershey's Gold Peanuts pretzel bar.
Imagine that with the caramel Pepsi.
Dude.
Oh, yes, that's caramel. That's too much.
My favorite, like Valentine's Day, I am the girl. Like I grew up on the Whitmans and the Russell Stover. Like,
what's the difference between the two? Because one has I hate the one
Whitman's
that's
is the yellow box, and Russell Stover's are the long white boxes.
Well, who's the one? One of them gyps you more with those dumb creams. If you don't like those creams.
Oh, I don't know. I like the creams, so I'm not.
Oh, I like the caramels and the nuggets. And all that.
Yeah, no, I'm cool. Yeah. So again, I'm like, it's going to be very difficult. And I love the hearts with the strawberry fluff in them that you can get at Walgreens and stuff. They're the individual. They're Russell Stover too. But so this is going to be very hard for me.
Did you buy that to tempt Kathy?
No, he forgot.
I did, and I bought one, and then so I realized that she said that she didn't want anything, so that's why I set it by your bar to give it to you.
But then he starts off the break, give me that.
Right.
So
I want to eat it because I'm
going to smell it.
Maybe just a little piece.
In solidarity to Kathy, I will not eat this.
Oh my
in front of me.
Yeah, right.
And so,
but for real, maybe just a little bite.
No,
we'll change the subject.
I won't get it.
We'll change the subject to help you,
I'll be
Kathy.
thinking about it all year. Only I have that Hershey's Gold. Sorry, you were saying.
No. So we'll change the subject.
Talk about sex and food.
You can text or call us at any time, and this text comes in. Speaking of giving money, my uncle, who's a lawyer in Cheyenne, once went to Denver for meetings. He gave money to a homeless guy sitting outside downtown. A few minutes later, that same guy got up, took his coat off, and went and got inside a Porsche. Later that day, that same homeless guy, quote unquote, guy was at the same lawyer meetings as my uncle. Although you never know other struggles. If you're hard up on money, why are you ever driving a Porsche?
Yeah, like I need to know that you've sold this and that and you're not,
right.
I need to know that you've already gone through exhausting all of your
efforts,
personal liquid assets,
right?
Or before you start asking for money. But if I was your uncle, I would have confronted him. I would have been like, give me that $10 back.
No, for sure. That's
you piece of.
That was me wanting to confront the guy down the street.
I don't know why you didn't.
Making the dog sit out in the sun while he collected money, and he had a nice Toyota 4Runner behind the gas station. So I drove around to tape him like an expose.
I know you did.
And then I was going to post it, and I'm like, this is going to get a lot of likes. People will be outraged. And then I thought, I was like, who am I to try to bust somebody? I'm not an investigative reporter. I'm not trying to go viral on
right, and
this.
I get that. Maybe he just needed money to pay the rent for that month.
I don't know.
But this lawyer dude, you're a lawyer? You're a lawyer?
You better call that guy out. Yeah,
I would call him out. I absolutely would.
They follow some people where they bust them. You've seen those viral videos where it's like a lady's getting into a really nice car and she's Not even homeless?
Yeah. No, totally.
And they follow her to her home?
Kathy would definitely do that.
Right.
If Kathy had the time in her day, she would be like out
Kathy's
there.
all brand name stuff in your fridge?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't even have brand name stuff in my fridge.
I go Kroger.
Like, the last time I got a new pair of tennis shoes? Look at yours. Oh, I hate you. Yeah, I get real mean.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that are lucky that I am always so busy because the road rage things, I would follow you. Like the good
You
old
seem
days
better.
when I used to be able to follow. I can't follow anymore.
Now that she's off sugar, everything's off. I don't know what's going to happen.
The sugar rage is going to set off.
It's only been 2 days, guys. So let's just. But I know it's working because my body is feeling sick, like I have the flu.
Whoa!
And they say that's part of the detox, like you said.
Yeah.
So
so other than so how tempted have you been? Has it been really hard? Because
no, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. First I'd eat all the sugar in the house. That helps.
She's literally eating sugar that you put in coffee.
Like that jar of frosting over the weekend, that was fine. I couldn't have anything in the baking aisle of the baking cupboard.
Right, because
so where's the Hershey bars? Where are they?
Sometimes there's stuff left over after baking,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, that still kind of makes a dessert in a way.
No, for sure, right. I got tricked once because you're like, oh, it says it's cocoa. Like yeah, no.
You're gonna have to stop the girls from eating snacks a little bit though, because it'll
be great
tempt
for
you.
them.
No. Like you have to learn how to because like
I hate it.
I've been on a situation where I was like completely on strict program, and I still made regular food for Chris when he flew.
Yeah,
so you kind of have to learn how to
No way.
still feed the girls.
I can't. Like yesterday, it was hard for me to be like, that's all I'm taking? Just one little butterscotch disc each? I don't get this. Okay, this is going to just do it, Kathy. Force yourself out the door.
So you're going to make the girls eat arugula? They're going to be like,
Again, I'm not changing. I'm not going fruits and vegetables like I should.
yeah.
Our expectations are too high.
Exactly.
You're the one who keeps bringing it up. It's all, what has life been like?
Let me cut
Are
out
you
the-
recording this journey for a documentary on Netflix? Kathy's
What are
going
you
through the
doing with
shakes
your-
tonight.
What are you doing with your kale? No, I'm not eating any of that.
Did you guys go on this health kick together? What was the
No.
reason for Larry's all, I'm getting on the treadmill and riding bikes and she's...
By the way, I went plant-based because I just wanted to. I
Right.
figured my fat ass should do something.
Right.
And it was better than exercising.
Right.
So then I was like, I got to do something. So I went, and I like animals, and so it just worked out that way. So I told you about that, those new series on Netflix. It's called Rotten, and it's about the food industry. And I thought...
Can't watch those.
No, I was afraid that it was going to be really hardcore or whatever, but the first episode was all about honey.
I love honey.
Okay, here's the deal. I hate to tell you this.
Can't even have that in my tea anymore.
It's not honey. Like, it's really crazy. The whole first episode is about the fact that the world's honey, what the bees make,
It's honey.
is dropping and dropping and dropping every
'cause
year.
There's no bees.
But the world's honey consumption keeps going up.
Yeah.
So that means that there's a bunch of people out there buying tons of honey, every country, and we mostly get our honey from like China. But like they put
Lead
like,
honey?
limits,
It was
whatever.
lead.
Right.
But lo and behold, it's not honey. It's like it's a rice sweetener, and it passes all the tests, the government tests, to pass as honey.
Okay.
So they figured it out how to make this fake honey, and that's what the majority of everybody in the
It's like
whole world
sweet and low.
is eating.
That's not real sugar,
Yeah,
and they
I was
tell
gonna
you
say-
they
I was
tell
gonna
you.
say, okay, well, it's still. I thought it was going to be worse than that. I'm cool with
You
rice.
thought it was
Oh,
going to be
no,
like
here's-
contaminated
whatever.
with.
I know,
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
the reason why is why it's scary is because without the bees, we can't grow food.
Oh, no, for
and
sure.
so all the bees are dying. So that's the scary
no,
part.
I think
Yeah.
it's cell phones killing the bees. I really think it's.
No,
I
it's-
didn't think about that.
It's agriculture because everybody's taking up all the land to plant for corn and this, that, the other.
Yeah.
So there's no more natural fields of flowers where bees could go get flowers.
Oh gosh.
So it's us that the industry of food that's doing it.
Well, now we've touched on everything in
Yeah,
this
I
food
think we're
break.
done. Now
I
we
think
come
we're
full
good.
circle.
And scene.
Blazin' Hit Radio.
Good morning, you guys.
Now with more us.
You rock.
Better music, less commercials, more Larry and
I
Kathy.
just love you both.
With our new health kick, we should start saying less Larry and Kathy.
No, let's just give it time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we're going to fail.
Right, exactly.
No, you guys are going to do good. I have faith in you.
I know I've gone like a long time without eating something with eyes.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that makes me feel terrible.
I know, right? Right.
That just makes me feel
Yeah,
like I'm
right.
just an awful person.
You said the other day you were leaning plant-based.
Yeah, but
thoughts.
then the next thing I do, good times burger.
Right,
Then what
right.
I eat last night. Although it I don't know. I'd like to.
Now have black bean burgers.
I think when I get to a certain spot where I'm happy with certain things, I'm going to be able to change up diets and do the right things.
Yeah,
because I did it before. I'll get back to where I was.
We will all survive.
I will survive.
Dun, dun. Okay.
I don't need no Hershey bars or some gummy bears.
Wow.
We got Wiggins singing disco. Things are a-changing. Things are a-changing.
See, before I would be all high and I'd just be like standing here.
You're lucky you didn't get the melody right, because I'd have been suspect.
Okay, so we have deal breakers coming through.
Okay.
Before we get to the kids, real fast, Wiggins. This one says, Christian from Aurora, 2 biggest deal breakers for me are pathological liars. Well, yeah, totally. Although you don't really know that they're the pathological liar until you're already wrapped into their lies.
Right, and then somebody pulls you aside and says, they're liars.
Yeah, they've said that all the time.
Right.
Yeah, did they tell you about the $400 million they're going to inherit?
Get out.
Yeah. Let's see. And the constantly looking at themselves girls.
Oh, no. There's like some girls that have Instagram accounts that have like every picture's the same face.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And the same angle.
And you're not the best looking girl.
But they just take so many, like, they're so self-obsessed that, like, now I'm in the bathroom at work.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even Latina chicks, Larry. There's a girl that...
It's all chicks.
There's a girl that...
I mean, every group of chicks. There's, like, every culture has.
There's a girl that Kathie and I know, or Kathie and I, Kayla, yeah, I guess I'm married to you, Kathie. There's a girl that Kayla and I know that is very pretentious. Okay, very, like, she even, like, dated a guy from The Bachelor show, right?
Okay.
And so, and this guy was kind of like a douche.
Okay.
And so you were like, I could kind of see that.
That's most of The Bachelor.
But she takes selfies all the time like
Can't
that.
handle
And
it.
it's
No,
just,
self-obsessed.
Yeah.
And there's some people that, like, take it to the point where they're like, they have photo shoots and they're like modeling and they're like, you're not a model. So you just basically,
Totally.
Kind of set up this go-to, photo shoot or something like that. So you're like,
Other deal breakers, being late all the time for this person. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, being late is lame.
Yes. Let's see. I feel like I married somebody with all those deal breakers. Oh, you poor person.
Well, you should have known that before you
You're
married
right.
them.
Why
then.
are you still with them? Even if you got pregnant with them, don't like
marry them.
Come on,
Yeah.
don't marry them.
Right, because people don't change sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yep. This person's deal breaker, no job. And I agree, man. You got to have a purpose in life. You got to have somewhere that you go every day. Because I know people that have never worked, and they're
different.
They're different. And the funniest thing is, they're the people that think they know everything, but yet they don't go out into the real world and deal with bosses.
Because they're at home Googling
and
everything
pressure.
all day long.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just drives me crazy. I'm like, you don't know anything. You don't work.
Sometimes, like, if you're low, you're down on your luck or you're in a little window where you're not working, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
But at that time, if you're at home and let's say it's a matter of months, you should definitely be on it. Like, as far as like, hey, dinner's ready.
Oh, no, you definitely should.
I definitely did the laundry.
Yeah.
Right. You got to still work.
So the person making the money
is like, cool, I have a little less stress, and now let's get you to your next job.
That's 50-50 for sure.
This person said drinking every chance they get is a deal breaker. Their priorities are not straight.
No, for sure. That's like a 20s thing where everybody's like, well, I guess we're drinking on Wednesday,
But then they get into their 30s and they drink all the time, and you're
it's
like,
bad.
okay, this is a little ridiculous.
There's no future with that person.
And the metabolism slows down, and then they just start slowly get bigger.
Right, you see the alkies, carving it out in their 20s. You can tell who's headed that way.
Oh, no, you can. You can. Guys and girls. Guys that chew, says this one on the text line. It's like their mouth is permanently stained and it's got a disgusting taste and smell. Oh, and dirty fingernails and nasty shoes.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
I know, but nasty shoes, sometimes people don't have money to get better shoes.
Well, you just dirty?
And sometimes, depending on a guy's trade, like his hands could be totally busted and always stained because that's what he does.
Like mechanics and stuff, right? That orange stuff doesn't always get the stain off of it, right?
And I feel so sorry for those guys because I know hard workers like that, and I'm like, man, you could never like hook yourself up. Like, it's too rough.
Well, technically, I see what you're saying,
it's
right?
Like, right.
I see you have to go get those soft, fuzzy gloves that ladies wear at night to put moisture on their hands. This one says, I have a few deal breakers. How someone feels about animals.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's a big thing. If people, like, when they walk in and they're like, hey, you got a dog, those people are usually cool. People that are like, ugh.
This person hates it when if someone says, "Oh, it's just a dog," you got to go.
Right.
I don't even like to have those people as friends. This person
Right.
says. Any kind of racism, whether it's culture, whatever.
I agree.
People that hate gay people.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And last but not least, Trump supporters.
Right. It could be, politically, but it's like sometimes you find yourself in a situation where I know a lot of couples who are opposite politically.
Yes.
And there's still a couple, so it can work. You know what I mean?
No, it can, but you just don't
talk about it.
Totally. At all, ever.
Right. I guess.
Yeah.
But it can work.
Not to change the topic, but this one comes in and says, sugar is evil. They said it's more addicting than nicotine.
I know, I've heard that. And it does. It releases whatever in your brain.
Endorphins,
Like it's an opioid addiction or nicotine, which it is. That's why I feel like I have the flu right now because I love my sugar.
Right. So you need like a sugar patch, a nicotine sugar patch.
Oh my God,
is that
I would
what
love
you
it.
need?
A big fat patch of like a sugar cube stuck to my arm.
No, just put a hunk of a piece of hunk. What's that?
A big hunk.
A big hunk under your boob.
I love big hunks.
Her husband wouldn't like that.
No, he wouldn't.
Her body would soak up the whole big hunk, except there'd just be some peanut remnants that the body didn't.
Yeah, because I don't really eat the peanuts.
It opens the boob, is all the peanuts is falling out.
That's happened before. They just happened to be in my bra when I was eating the big hunk.
Right. Kathie's had chips and salsa in her cleavage. Lots of stuff.
You can get everything in there.
Lost keys.
So we've been trying to get to it. The subject of the House of Horrors, I guess, is what it's being called, with the 13 kids being held captive by like a cult leader with a weird haircut.
Okay, but it was their dad.
Yeah.
Definitely weird haircut. It was their dad.
David Spade made a joke, and he said that it was the guy from Benchwarmers. Remember that movie?
Totally.
And it's like the Benchwarmers haircut. So,
like Jeff Daniels had that same haircut in Dumb and Dumber.
He did.
You know what's scary is like they would show them like, here's us in Disney World, here's us at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they must have let them out to experience the world for those moments, and then back in your cage.
Right, and it's just crazy because you look at the pictures and you're like, well, they all look like that normal, like they did get to go to Disneyland. They had matching outfits. It's very not throwing Mormons under the bus, but it's very Mormon-y kind of feeling.
Right.
And then I'm like, did they not want them to grow up? Because they say that the 29-year-old
look like teenagers,
had a malnourished 15-year-old body.
Right.
So it's like, were you trying to keep them all young?
Well,
I think
like you wanted it to look all like young kids always around you?
Today's Show did a little bit of investigative reporting and found out what was actually going on inside this house.
Investigators say some of the children were tortured for years, subject to abuse that's unimaginable. Their parents, the suspects in this case, will be in court in just a few hours. But a warning, the details you're about to hear are incredibly disturbing.
As police return to what we now know was a torture chamber, new details are emerging over how the 13 children who lived in this home were allegedly abused by their parents. A law enforcement official with knowledge of the investigation tells NBC News the victims were allowed to shower just twice a year and fed only one rationed meal per day.
Whoa.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Like, I don't even know what...
Why? It's like, that is so messed up.
Yeah, why? Like, they say that the mom looked very perplexed as to why they were being arrested.
Yes. Wow. Like, how dumbfounded are you, or idiotic are you to think that, why am I being arrested? It's like, because you're holding them hostage as, like, prisoners?
And starving them to death?
Yeah.
They're not being fed and they're living in these filthy, dirty conditions. That's going to take its toll.
Officials already confirming some of the children were shackled to furniture. We now know they're so weak, they're receiving antibiotics, vitamins, and nutrition through an IV. So malnourished, they could go into shock.
It's actually heartbreaking for the staff.
The 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, a prison for the 13 children held here. The youngest, just 2, the oldest, 29. Their rooms said to be urine-filled.
There's a special place in hell for people like this.
Police credit Dave and Louise Turpin's 17-year-old daughter for saving her siblings after escaping through a window and calling 911.
You know, so what's sad is it took her 17 years
to
get
get
out
that moment and that courage to jump out. That's insane.
Well, she had a phone that wasn't activated, and you know how on those phones you can call 911.
Right.
So that's actually how she was able to actually call authorities and get them to come rescue them.
Our source says the brave young girl, so abused, she's said to have the mental capacity of someone well below her age. The children not physically well enough to provide detailed statements. Their parents arrested for torture and child endangerment, facing a judge today for the unspeakable crimes they're accused of.
David and Louise Turpin will be arraigned today at 9 a.m. We are being told they're held on $9 million bail.
This is when you want to sign a book deal with those kids. And they're like, sign the book deal for this bag of jelly beans.
That's mean, Larry.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to victimize the victims. I'm just saying they have a lower IQ.
Yeah, like
Right.
that's just crazy. Like if you can't take care of your children, why hurt them like this? You
These
know,
are
there's
just
so many people out there that would love to have kids.
For sure. And then to keep having them there. And these
Keep
obviously
having them, that's stupid.
mental abuse by this crazy man. And then like sometimes. Like,
And woman.
No. I think sometimes like the woman is just like in the same class as the kids, unless if she's like, okay, we're in this together.
Which is the case. He was 24. She was 16 when he married her.
Oh, so he brainwashed
So he
her.
definitely
right. And she knew that it was better to be the wife than one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or-
No. Right. Like it's safer for she doesn't get.
Right. Like I'll help you hit him if I don't get hit.
Right.
They
But
had-
there's no physical. There's no sexual abuse.
Who knows? But
Yeah.
they also had three renewed vows, whatever. They had three
Vegas.
in Vegas with like Elvis impersonators.
No, I saw that.
And then they
video.
had all the girls like standing up there. Or excuse me, all the kids standing up there
In
with
matching
them in
outfits.
matching outfits as they got married. So it was kind of, and it almost looks like those trips to Universal or wherever they went were almost like staged because
It was. I think it was about the parents, and they're like, "We're not letting you out of our sight. Now we have to pay." And they probably went to the cheaper Disney hotel.
Hey.
And they're like, "We're at the Grand Floridian. You're chained here in the animation."
I don't know how they did it because I have a hard time keeping track of one child at Disney World.
Right.
Disneyland.
That was
how do
your
you
chance
keep track of 13? That's your chance to run.
get out.
Yeah.
Right. And so like one ran to Mexico and Epcot, one ran to China.
Japan.
Right.
For sure.
The oldest was
Sanctuary.
29. She looked like she was 15.
Yeah.
So
for
it's
sure.
like how terrible. Like, and then you're there. You're almost all your life, a quarter
You've been
of your life.
brainwashed all your life. You don't know
Right.
any better.
And who knows what that guy was capable of or what their life was like. I guess they'll find out.
The was it a cousin? I think it was a cousin, or maybe it was an aunt of the kids. She stayed at the house at one point, and she said that he would come in there and watch her shower, and he would joke about it, ha ha ha. But now she looks back and she's all, that was just weird. He never touched me or anything, but he just come in there all the time when I was showering and just
Shouldn't
watch me.
People have known that went to the house. Like, why does it smell like pee in here? Why is that kid chained to a table? Like, were they must have like just like
Cleaned
kept the
up
door
or
locked.
something. Who knows?
I was gonna say cleaned up, or it's the brainwashing, man.
Right,
You
right.
convince people to do horrible
Right.
things and put up with horrible conditions, especially if you get them from the beginning. They don't know any better.
Well, and then you would think like they obviously are homeschooled because if they went to a regular
They
school,
were,
people
yeah.
would be like,
Oh,
"You're
yeah.
kind of thin."
He taught them, or the dad taught him, and it was, and then this said California isn't responsible for private schools, which is quote unquote what it was, to have to go out there and check on them all the time.
That's
and so,
sad.
What's with the torture chamber? Like they were obviously like abused in that sense.
Wait. I'm sorry. Was there an actual torture chamber, or the house they're just calling it
House
quote
of
unquote
Horrors.
a
Okay,
torture
I took
chamber?
it as like there was a room where they got hit.
No,
Okay.
I don't think there's an. I mean, I think every house is probably a room.
Yeah,
in there
that's
was
50
probably a
Shades of
torture
Grey.
chamber,
The
yeah.
movie's coming out February 9th.
That looks terrible.
I don't get that. It's like the third one of those, and those movies have just like flopped every
This
time,
is the
haven't
last
they?
one.
Okay.
This is the last one. But you know what? There are people that love it. Like, I already had a girlfriend go, are you going to be able to take us to the premiere? And I was like, oh, I don't want to go to that movie.
You know, she's dating Chris Martin.
Yes, I saw the pictures of them on the beach. Dakota
So-
Johnson.
Yeah, he has weird taste in women.
She was probably of all the celebrity Hollywood interviews I've done, she was the most stuck up, rudest.
Right.
Like,
I remember.
yeah.
That's why I don't like her.
Right. I was like, man, you like, wow, raised by rich, famous parents.
Right.
Who are her parents?
Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson.
But it's like when you just got handed your career.
Well, both of them are kind of ego, aren't they? Isn't Don Johnson?
Totally.
Isn't Don
Johnson's all
totally
ego?
a
Yeah,
D-bag?
for sure.
Okay, now, like we're talking about Don Johnson. He's an older guy. Have you seen that show, Better Late Than Never? It has Terry Bradshaw, Henry Winkler,
Yes,
the Fonz.
I saw the one where they went to Henry Winkler's
German. Oh
home.
my God, that is the best show on TV. And I just, like you said that about Don Johnson, I was like just thinking that older generation. William Shatner's
George
on
Foreman.
it. William Shatner, George Foreman,
Henry Winkler, Terry
and
Bradshaw.
remember Idiot Abroad?
Okay.
It's like Idiot Abroad, but with older celebrities from America. So they just go out and they end up traveling the world together, but they're really like close friends. They're not in real
So
life.
it's kind of like bucket list stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's also finding out like their history and where they came from.
Cool.
And I mean, the one I saw with Henry Winkler, that's what they were doing.
Oh, it's such a great show.
They're like, we were going to call it fat famous guys doing stuff.
Totally.
Kind of what it is.
Yeah, it is totally what it is.
And now,
all tea, all shade, hunty.
Celebrity Trash Batch with Larry, Kathie, and Wiggins.
Can I get an amen up in here? Sponsored by the Mike Sawyer Law Firm. Call 303 Good Law. Here's Kathy J.
Okay, so Ann Curry and Matt Lauer from the Today Show. They had their history.
Right. Like he was kind of a jerk to her or something.
Well, he was the whole reason she got fired.
Okay.
He didn't want her working there. He didn't like her, maybe because she didn't fall for his...
I have a dildo for you.
Yeah, right. Because she's an actual reporter.
Right. She's like, I don't care about your bag of dildos.
Yeah, I do have the audio from that interview.
So she was on CBS yesterday morning, and she talked about Matt Lauer, and here's what she said.
Do you believe that Matt Lauer abused his power? I'm trying to do no harm in these conversations. I can tell you that I am not surprised by the allegations.
What do you mean by that, Ann? What do you mean that you're not surprised?
Because
you had heard things, you knew things. What does that mean?
That means that I would be surprised if many women did not understand that there was a climate of verbal harassment that existed. I think it would be surprising if someone said that they didn't see that. Mm-hmm. So, verbal sexual.
All right, let me stick with
Sorry. I just don't. I'm going to make. She just said verbal sexual harassment was pervasive. Yeah. At NBC at the time. I don't want to cause more pain, but no, you were asking me a very direct question. I'm an honest person. I want to tell you that it was, yes, period.
You know what? It's really weird to hear her because I've talked to her on the phone.
What do you mean?
Okay, go ahead, tell everybody.
No, I was just sitting with one of my friends.
Back in the day before I
had a studio in my basement, I just would crank people. And,
just for fun.
Right. And so,
on your phone, not being
with
recorded.
My friends, just on speaker.
Yes.
So
and it was hilarious. I loved it.
So my sister calls me from the airport and she's like, you would not believe who's on my flight. And I'm all, who? She's all, Ann Curry from NBC. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. I go, let me do my Tom Brokaw for her. I go walk up to her and say that you're Tom Brokaw's niece and that he wants to talk to her. She's all, I am not doing that. And she hung up on me. And so I was like, wah.
Yeah, but Larry's not going to let it die.
Right.
Yeah.
So I called the airport and I was like, can you page Ann Curry for me? And then I left a number. And then as Tom Brokaw. And then so all of a sudden my phone rang and my friends and I looked at each other like, oh my God, it's happening.
Why wouldn't she think Tom Brokaw has a Denver number?
Well, whatever. So she picked
called
up
her at the airport.
Right. So she got paged at the airport.
Right. She's traveling and maybe, yeah.
So she picks up the page, goes to the phone, and then all of a sudden.
Here, I'll be Ann Curry.
Okay.
Ready? Okay.
Right.
Hello, this is Ann.
Ann, Tom Brokaw, how are you?
Hi, Tom.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And first thing, she's like, how did you know? She goes, it never ceases to amaze me. You're being able to track people down. I go, well, that's the business we're in. She's all, so true.
And you know what?
True.
That's that was his voice.
Right. And I said, so, Ann, I need a favor. I was hoping you could cover for me for Dateline on next week. She's like, absolutely, Tom. No problem whatsoever. And I was like, well, fine. I really appreciate it. And have a good flight. And she's like, okay, thanks, Tom. Bye. And then hung up. And then my sister calls me. She's like, you're an idiot. She's like, because she heard the page.
Yeah,
she saw her go to the phone. She's like, what did you say to her?
She went to a white paging telephone.
Right.
Oh, man.
By the way, I use that same voice to crank Adela Arakawa.
You did not.
Yes, I did. I hit on her, and I said I was down in Denver. I said, I'm a big fan, and I've had a couple drinks, but I do respect your work, and you're very attractive.
Wow.
So thank you, Tom. And I said, have a good show, have good news, and call me when you're done.
Wow.
And then Tom's died, right? Tom broke up?
No, he's still alive.
Oh, he's still alive?
Thanks, Kathy.
I'm sorry.
Obviously, you don't watch NBC.
He's just really
he does
old.
once in a while does special things.
Okay. Sorry about that, Tom.
Survived cancer.
Happy to have you still around.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yes.
Fellow news person.
Yes.
Television personality.
Thanks, Tom. Mariah Carey's being sued for bailing on some concerts in South America in 2016. Remember when
everybody's allowed a fat day. Where you're just like, I can't.
But remember the whole incident, 2016, that was going down with the billionaire and the TV show. And
where the dancers had to pick her up and lift her and move her arms.
Now, they're saying it was because of low ticket sales as to why she bailed.
Right. I could see that. Like, I'm not going to perform for 1,000 people.
I'm not going to South America for that.
Right.
The promoter says they'd already paid her 75% of the fee, and Mariah's people are saying she canceled because she wasn't paid 75% of the fee.
Okay, so now it's lawyers.
Yes, so now it's in with the lawyers. Yes. Okay, so Kevin Spacey, just when you thought it was just lay low.
Safe to go to underage areas.
I'm pretty sure all those guys are going to move to Argentina, like where all the Nazis went to try to live a different life.
Oh, you mean Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey?
Right.
And it's sad because Kevin Spacey, I mean, what an amazing actor.
No, for sure. He was like
Seven
really great.
was on randomly over the weekend, and I was like, God, he's such a good actor.
Right, but then when you hear all the
he's a pervert.
details,
You don't, I can't support that. Right. So Scotland Yard is now investigating a third sexual assault allegation against
way
Kevin
out in
Spacey.
Scotland. Like he was in Scotland hitting up people?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Wow.
Yeah. So
he has the means to travel the globe, you know?
Yeah, so or is Scotland Yard?
Oh, that's England.
I was going to say that's England.
Yeah.
That's their cops.
That's their police yard.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Thank you.
because he used to run a acting school
there
in England
right.
for like years.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like from 2006 to 2011 or something
right.
like that.
And the district attorney in LA also got 3 cases that they're looking at against Harvey Weinstein.
Right. Again, it's Argentina and plastic surgery.
Yeah, good luck. And there are some Super Bowl commercials that are starting to get leaked out there, everybody.
I hate that they're leaked just because I like that's the only thing I will tolerate.
And now
commercials
they'll
for.
show
it's
them
just
all.
teasers. It's just teasers that you're seeing. Like, we know that Morgan Freeman.
How old is Morgan Freeman?
And Game of Thrones, the little guy, Peter Dinklage.
I'm Peter Dinklage.
I love Peter Dinklage.
Are we in an ad together?
Are facing off in an ad that promotes Doritos' new spicy Blaze chips and Mountain Dew's clear ice drink. Both brands are owned by Pepsi. There's a teaser of them.
Morgan Freeman was like, if you look close, up to my face, I have the same complexion as a Dorito.
Do you know, because we always talk about Morgan Freeman and those things on his face, the chocolate chips on his face.
Right.
So it's funny.
And with black people, when you get a freckle, it turns into a sesame seed later. And your face looks like a sesame seed bun.
So there was a movie that
White
came
people
out.
get meatballs all over their face.
Right. I have a meatball.
They're called skin tags.
Yeah, I don't have a skin tag. It's just a weird mole coming in. Don't say mole. Mole. So the bucket list. Did you ever see it with Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson?
Right. I never saw it, but I really thought that was going to be a great movie.
Yeah, and it was. Okay. But I didn't remember this one part right when they first are introduced to each other in the hospital room, because that's how they meet each other, is they share a hospital room.
Oh, that's cool.
So Jack Nicholson, once he's waking up out of his surgery that he had for cancer or something, Morgan Freeman is helping him like adjust his bed or something, and Jack Nicholson looks at him and goes, "Have you always had those freckles?" I was like, wow. So I guess Morgan Freeman knows.
He's all, I look like Mayor McRib. I mean, like Mayor McSandwich or whatever.
Mayor Sesame seed bomb?
Mayor Big Mac.
Mayor
whatever.
Big Mac.
He was one of the McDonald's.
Mayor McCheese.
Yeah, there you go.
I look like Grimace. So
On
who
a
am I to say
sesame
anything?
seed bun.
And finally, Justin Timberlake.
Rubble.
Justin Timberlake says he and Janet Jackson have made peace. Because, Justin Timberlake is doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Right, and a lot of people were like, Janet took all the heat and Justin just slithered away.
Exactly.
But I didn't. My theory has always been it was her idea anyway, so she should have taken most of the heat. He just helped.
To me, I never knew the exact real story because Justin Timberlake never talked about it. Janet never really talked about it.
Well, she talks about it now, but I think it's all in a weird way she talks about it.
But what does she say?
Just that, like...
that it was still an accident. She didn't. It was a wardrobe malfunction.
She doesn't go with her wardrobe malfunction.
Okay, she said like she knew it was going to happen.
You know, maybe she hasn't talked about it because I have no idea what her angle was.
But Justin Timberlake talks about it.
He did. He just did an interview.
He fessed up. Like he was in on it.
Yeah. Well, here it is. Here's the interview he did with Zane Lowe.
It's like it wasn't too much of a conversation. Just one of those things where you go like, yeah, we're not gonna do that again. You know, like. I stumbled through it, you know, to be quite honest. Like, I had my wires crossed, and it's just something that you have to look back on and go like, okay, well, you can't change what's happened, but, you know, you can move forward and learn from it.
Okay, that was vague.
It doesn't mean anything, yeah.
That was like wires crossed.
That was him trying to cover his butt because he's going to be performing there
Right,
this
for sure.
year.
He couldn't come out and go, it was her idea. I thought it was hilarious. It was going to be great and very controversial. Because I thought, like, if it had played out, like, if she hadn't shown Ola, and it had just been like a bra or maybe I don't know
a pasty, because even Lil' Kim got away with the pasty.
No, she had some.
She had something covering it, but you could still see through it, and
you could totally see Ola. But it was like a
star.
sundial.
A sundial.
It was a sundial, and then it went through the piercing. So like you got to put the sundial on, then you put the piercing in. It keeps the dial on.
Oh, that's what it was.
And you could spin the dial.
I don't think you could spin the dial.
Janet was the first fidget spinner.
Yeah. I believe what you said, Larry, is if Janet purposely was planning on showing her boob, you think it would have been
a better boob,
a prettier presentation,
right? Because that thing, the bustier that she was wearing, it made it look like she had boob and side boob.
Yeah, it was falling.
Right.
Well,
it was looking down.
If the words to the song, weren't "Have you naked" by the end of this song, followed by revealing cleavage,
right,
you might be able to think some wires got crossed.
So in the interview, Justin Timberlake said that during the negotiations to headline the Super Bowl halftime show, they had to discuss the wardrobe malfunction. Right. And this is so when he did the interview with E! Online, that's when he said kind of it was his fault a little bit too. And you heard his quote, more or less. I stumbled through it. I had my wires crossed. It's just something that you have to look back on and go like, okay, well, you know, you can't change what's happening. You can move forward and learn from it. So again, he's made peace with Janet. He's doing the show on his own.
He's like, I made peace with Janet. I got her tickets to my last show.
Oh. She's doing good. She's got her tour going. She's not like obsolete.
Oh, no, she looks fantastic.
Yeah. No, for sure. But like, just as far as her tours go, this is scaled back for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's a good chance he's going to have at least one guest. Of course he's going to have one guest.
Oh, no. He's going to have Pharrell. I bet you it's Pharrell or somebody crazy.
Did Lady Gaga have a guest? She didn't.
No, it was all her.
It was all her.
It's all about her.
Prince, it was all about him. He didn't have a guest.
Yeah, because Katy Perry had Missy Elliott.
Right. So some people, I guess, maybe it's a testament to your talent.
Or how many hits you have.
If you need a guest or not.
Well, and Timberlake has a whole plan. Like you said, Missy Elliott messed up after hers. He's got a whole tour lined up after this. He's dropping his album. He knows how to market and sell himself the right way.
He's prepared for this, for sure.
Usually they like to combo people in the way of like country and rock and R&B and rap. You know what I mean? That's what they used to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think they try to broaden it out. And I don't know, he could bring anybody out. He could bring Pink out. He could bring...
Pink, I think, should be the next person that gets a Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
She'd be awesome. You come in on the wires and stuff.
Right, for sure.
That'd be cool.
I smoked a marijuana cigarette at a party once. I could never figure out what the big deal was. Huh.
You're listening to Blazin' Hit Radio.
We probably should have waited. We got Ari Shaffir hanging out with us right now. We probably should have waited for the porn subject just to have him jump on with us about the most
Hey, he's funny no matter what you bring up.
Yeah,
I mean, if it matters, I was watching PornHub in the car over here, so it was kind of like we were connected.
We originally brought it up because they said the fake missile warning in Hawaii, PornHub was tracking the numbers, and they said once the missile was, they said it was coming, nobody watched porn.
It plummeted 77% below average
really?
when the missile alarm came out.
wonder.
I mean, that gives me like hope in humanity.
Totally.
Like, you know what I mean?
I said the same thing.
It's like let's put this away for just a minute while we figure out our deaths.
But then after it said it's false alarm,
it surged.
It skyrocketed 48% above
People
average.
were celebrating.
If that bomb's not coming, I am.
Do my own missile launch.
Exactly.
So Ari Shaffir, he's going to be at Comedy Works downtown tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday, and he's hanging out with us.
Bunch of sold out shows.
Yep.
Yes,
and you're doing
but-
something different.
No, wait. They just added 2 more shows,
cool.
everybody.
Yeah, no.
Everything's sold out except these 2. No.
Yeah,
I said a bunch, but I didn't say all sold out.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So the 2 that you can get tickets for tonight at 10 o'clock and then midnight on Saturday night. You're doing it. You're going to give us more Ari Shaffir.
Yeah.
And now you can say...
No, but you're doing something where you're doing like kind of like improv, but with a group, kind of.
It's not really improv. We're just telling stories. We pick a topic. I've been doing this show in LA and New York, and then like festivals for like 6-7 years. But we just do like we pick a topic like women or drugs or travel.
That's
or whatever,
awesome.
and then all comics tell a story about something to do with that subject.
And I got to say, you are like hands down one of the best storytellers ever.
Thanks,
Like even if you're at a UFC fight on drugs, I still
Oh, yeah.
am right there with you. Whatever you're telling the story about, I love it. And
Those
like-
UFC fights are fun on drugs, man. Once you've been to like 5 or 6 of them, it gets boring without it. And then it's like, let's do this.
Let's do this. I don't know what I'm taking. Let's do it. I guess I'll find out in an hour.
I made the mistake of dropping acid right at the beginning of a Bronco game, and that was one of my best
Really?
stories. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was like this series of like, and I had taken acid before this, and I had never experienced any of the visuals. Well, of course, this was the time where it was happening, and I had my cousin and my friend, and I was like,
and they weren't on it.
Oh, they were on it.
Okay, good.
And so we were like, the whole thing was like, we got to get out of here. We have to get out of here. So we
But
finally
we paid a lot of money for the
we
seat.
didn't care at that
Okay.
point. So we made it outside of the stadium, and we're laying on the grass, and we're like, okay, what's our move? We can't drive. What are we going to do? And people are walking past us with banners and signs, and all of a sudden,
Foamy fingers.
right? All of a sudden, a bunch of my cousins from my church come up, and they're like, what's up with you guys? And we're like, nothing.
God is great, man. God is great.
Yeah, exactly. Right. God is
Just looking at
good.
nature.
So you've gone to UFC games pretty messed up, or what's happened with that?
Yeah. I took an acid, mushrooms. It's fun, but you feel so much empathy for the fighters. You start going like, oh, no.
That hurt.
That guy just got punched in the face. Someone should do something.
Right.
And there's no justice, it seems like.
Right.
Nobody's stopping this.
Yeah.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Just get up, stop the fight, stop the
Right,
fight.
stop the fight. Don't you see him crying?
I remember somebody coming into the octagon doing the entrance music and coming into like Dropkick Murphys or something, and everyone's cheering, and I just remember like, this is the Coliseum. Where it's like we're watching lions killing gladiators.
We got to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what's the theme tonight?
Tonight is women, just stories about love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we got 5 great comics.
Some tells me
stories.
that's not happy stories about love.
No, it won't be. It's pretty fun where it's like you do that. It's like, oh, it's not going to be romance.
No, it's not. It's not going to be
With
that.
degenerate comedians. The best is sometimes you do like a drug story and then like some like churchy comic will be like, well, I'll do you my angle on it. You know? And it's like, whoa, way different than someone else.
Yeah, totally different.
But he stayed on topic.
Yeah, or like family, you'll get like one person doing like, something beautiful about their parents, and then someone else was like, when I was on meth, I remember stealing my mom's thimble collection.
Right.
So that still counts.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's up and down, right? Where do you get the comics? Do they travel with you the whole time, or is
Yeah,
it just...
no, they travel me the whole time. These guys are all 3 from New York, 1 from LA.
That's cool.
They've all done the TV show I did about stories.
Oh,
and
good,
they all have
okay.
new stories, and so it's like, these are like, I don't know, it's like they're party stories, but like from the funniest guys in the country. You know?
No.
Awesome.
So, Sean.
Sean Patton.
Yeah, you were okay.
Oh, I just choked on that. Sean Patton. Yeah.
Okay, so the
Steve
one.
Simone, Mark Norman, and Joe List.
Okay.
And then tonight, Fred
that's cool.
Tobler also.
You have such a great voice. Have you done any kind of announcing or cartoon voices or anything like that? Or
No, I want to do a voiceover on UFC, like UFC fights, and just be like a fake commentary. Just be like, this guy with the brown shorts is like, I don't like him. And just like something like that.
Oh, yes.
yeah, you got a great voice.
No, I think you should go WWE with that. Right. There's plenty of costumes for WWE.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
How'd you develop this concept? Was this just something that you came up with?
We did my friend was like booking a side room at this club called the Improv in Los Angeles. and I was like, I was over at his house for Thanksgiving, and we were telling mushroom stories. Like I had one, and then he went to like Coachella on mushrooms with his friends, and I was like, hey man, a bunch of comics have mushroom stories. Like, can we just do a show in that side room?
Yeah,
it was like a 40-person room, and just all telling mushroom stories. And he was like, yeah, all right, we can do that. And we booked it. It was a great lineup. It was me and a couple other people, and then Mark Maron and Joey Diaz.
Wow,
that's awesome.
And then you just did
12
that.
people showed up.
And you were like, those 12 people were entertained.
Yeah, they had a great
damn it.
time. Belladonna, the porn star, was there.
Oh, yeah.
She was one of the 12.
Bella's on mushrooms right now, everybody.
No, that makes me want to do mushrooms again because they're so fun. Like, you can just laugh so hardcore.
You laugh. So people are like, is this because he's spiritual? I have a bad trip. I'm like, you're going to fucking laugh, man. That's number one thing. You're going to laugh and you can never laugh.
And it's like, it gets to the point where people are like, your stomach hurts from laughing so hard. The last time I did it, I was like becoming enraged. I was like, all right, you guys stop for just a second. And then it was all,
yeah, exactly. I would like spit up stuff.
Right.
So it's such a good time. They were like, dude, let's do this again. And then we just pick like fuck stories.
Uh-huh.
And then like, yeah.
Well, especially Mark Maron, he's just, with his podcast and all that, it was probably so natural for him just to keep going on and on with his story.
Yeah. This is like, might have been before his podcast.
Oh, wow.
Right at the beginning.
Maybe
of it
you
anyway.
started it. Maybe you got him going.
I did.
Copyright that is.
He owes you money.
Right. So all of it. Yeah, and then sometimes you ask people, like, do you have a story about acid or something? They're like, not really. And then other times you'll just know. Like, before we did Heartbreak, and I asked Marin, I was like, hey, I have a show on Thursday. Can you do it? Like, it's Heartbreak. I know you have like 50 stories about that.
Yeah, we all have stories. I mean, that's what happens when you're all just hanging out with your friends. But to me, it's about the storytelling and how you present it.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you always been a good storyteller? Has that always been your gift, or do you go in like set it up, refer back? I mean, like you do the emotion. You can transport somebody to be right there with you.
Yeah, I try. Thanks a lot. I
no, it's
appreciate
really
that.
good.
I got better at it after doing it for like 6-7 years. I got better and better and better. We did it like once a month in New York, and I would try to like I'm in LA when I lived there, and I just kept trying to like think of stories. I'd ask my high school friends like, hey, did anything happen? Do you remember anything with me, like with like food, you know, if we did food stories or whatever, you know, and then they'd be like, yeah, I remember that one time. I was like, oh yeah, and then I just try to.
That one time you ate a Snickers out of that girl's butt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, how did I forget that?
How did you forget that? Of all the stories,
it was a Snickers mini.
It's the best if somebody reminds you of one. You're like, oh, that's such a winner.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, then you just learn how to like milk it and make metaphors and just like.
That's exactly what you do. It's so good.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
for sure.
Plus, you get to travel with these same guys creating new stories, doing shrooms here like we'll do it tonight.
Yeah, we've done it in Scotland. I'm going to do it in Australia this year and Montreal.
Wait, the comedy bit or mushrooms?
Both, sure. I went mushroom picking in Australia. It's the only time I've done that. Do you guys do that here?
Like
no.
You picked your own crop?
Yeah. You just
aren't you nervous about that? Like,
I'd get the poison one.
Yeah.
You go with a local who like seems to know, and you're like, all right, good enough.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't do it on my own. But it's like, see, you crack it, and then this turns color. I'm like, all right.
Okay.
Have you ever done those, Kathy? Shrooms?
Yeah, and I ate a bunch of Tootsie Rolls with them.
Right, because you got to cover the taste.
Because the taste, right. But we were at Red Rocks.
Oh, my God,
And I just remember being like, wrong place.
Really?
So many stairs. There's so many stairs. I'm parked so far from the trading post.
It's one of those movies where it like moves back like 100 yards, and you're like,
it was just right. It was Poltergeist. It was that long hallway of stairs.
That's not. You don't want to work out.
Hell no.
We did him with Big J at you've had him in.
Yeah, we've had him on here. Yeah.
And at Bonnaroo, and it's like 6-7 people. I got like an ounce. I got enough for all the comics.
Oh damn, we're gonna party.
And then he like ate it, and he hates the taste more than anybody. Right. And he like ate it and then threw up. And then, like, so it's just all out there with specks in it and stuff. And we're all like, dude, we all just ate a bunch of mushrooms. Like,
you're going to be alone if you're not.
You have to.
You got to eat your vomit.
Yeah, he did. He was like, fuck. He would like pick the pieces out and eat them. Like, dude, you have to. Right now, don't think about it. Just do it.
You're all, plus we paid for those.
Yeah.
Right. Are you on the train or not?
Otherwise, you got to leave. You're on your own for the next 7 hours.
Exactly.
That's like when somebody booty bumps ecstasy and they have to take a poop.
Yeah.
No. I just heard about that.
You just
shove it up your butt. butt. Oh my god.
Okay, you stopped me down. People would do that.
Some people take their gummy vitamins that way.
Okay,
No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
They're
I'm
daily
joking.
They're
vitamins.
Flintstones. Yeah, they yabba dabba do.
Right.
Yabba dabba doo doo. Yeah, yabba dabba do.
Yeah, no. And I also want to know, like, your sketches that you do, the videos and stuff. Are
Which
you?
ones?
Well, I don't know. Like, even like the opening that you
Oh, the
have.
openings? Yeah.
Like, are you part of that? Is that just something? Are you helping direct and produce all that? 'Cause-
Produce, I guess, but no. We found a director, Jeff Tomzik, who was great, and then it
okay.
was just like set him free. Which is like, yeah, man, you know what you're doing. Like,
right.
fucking
And he's
go
like, I
nuts.
want you to impale yourself on a fence.
Yeah, it was like we had like 3 days. We would like call like the best guys in LA all together, and we're like, hey, just let's work for like a tenth of your money. Let's just have fun. We'll shoot out
That's
10
cool.
episodes in 3 days. You can just use my body however you want. I'm there. You know, they fucking chase me down with wild dogs.
Yeah, right.
You know, they fucking buried me in the dirt.
Yeah.
Like they do all this stuff to me, and it's like I'm there. I know it'll look cool, and it does. It looks like an action movie.
Oh
It's
no,
great.
it does. That's why I just love what you put
Yeah,
out there.
they got
It's
me
good.
like stunt training with the guys who like choreograph 300.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, to like show me how to like do fights and shit, how to
Oh,
like
hell
kick
yeah.
my legs to make it look better. And I'm like, all right, I'm trying.
Here we go.
Here's your cod piece.
Right. Don't forget about that. You're going to need it for protection.
Do you get involved with marijuana at all? I mean,
Do I get involved
do you
with
smoke?
marijuana?
Do you smoke
Shut up,
marijuana?
Narc.
Yeah.
That was his way of saying, do you want a bong rip?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, we got that for you.
Yeah, I love weed. We're all about to all go to Vail, and me and my friend Steve Renazzisi, who's going to be here next week doing Comedy Works. But we do this. We one year I like did from here, and I went straight to Vail. And then he was like, he was here the next week, and I was like, hey, next year let's just plan this again.
Yeah.
And then in between days, let's all go skiing.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for a few years here.
Oh, that's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. So he's coming next week, but we got to like load up on weed and bring it out there.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
While you're on the chairlift. You're like,
Yeah.
that's not what you're smelling. You don't smell anything.
Well, out here it doesn't
the
even
chairlift-
matter anymore. Yeah.
They don't care. The chairlift is the best place.
Yeah.
Like, all right, it's longer. Get it going. It's fucking wind. Hurry up.
Did
Totally.
you hear there was somebody on a chairlift just the other day, and she looked down, and there was a body
They just
laying down
discovered
there.
some missing guy who had been missing for a while. And she's like, I
How
think
many
I saw-
people were on that chairlift
dead
that,
body?
that missed that?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and he'd been there for they didn't know how long. And how many people were going on that chairlift and just ignored
Well, they were
it?
all smoking. They,
Yeah, I
they
don't
weren't
know.
even paying
And you know,
attention.
she took like a selfie with the dead body behind her.
right, and then called it in for sure.
Do you like edibles?
Yeah, I like edibles.
Yeah.
I like everything, but edibles I like for like flights.
Right.
I like to fly cross country like 5 hours. I like to like take it and like get really ripped right before they like start boarding, and then come down when I'm checking into my hotel.
Right.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Crash out a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, he's got it down. You travel a lot, obviously.
Yeah,
That would
the
be
edibles
nice.
are great for that. I took him to like on long flights like to Australia or to China. I take him, but China's punishable by death, so like
Right.
Wow.
whatever I have left over,
I better
just
eat all those.
bathroom, right? Eat a bunch, toilet for the rest, and then like walk out like nobody knows.
I think edibles have turned into the new glass of wine for a lot of women. Like I know women that never smoked herb at all, and now they're all on. It's trending. It's like I just get my little edible and I just have it, and I know what my dosage is. And
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
With those 10 milligram shits, like,
Right.
you're like, I guess that wouldn't do anything to me, but I
Right.
guess like, some people are like that's a good buzz. Like,
Right.
It's
Take the
exact.
edge
I had
out.
to eat 4 chocolate bars.
It's exact.
That's exactly it.
Instead of the old double X's where you're like, I don't what?
So, are you dating? Do you have a lot of exes? What is your romance talk about? Your love.
I date. Yeah, I got a girlfriend now actually, which is weird for me.
Okay. Does she travel with you, or she stays in LA?
No, she stays. And no, I moved to New York about 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So she's there. She's got a job.
Yay! She's got a job.
She's got one actually. But yeah, it'll be like stories. Sometimes when we do like sex stories, I have to remind the crowd, I'm like, guys, this is us on our best day. This is not like normal every. Don't like lose faith in us. We're not
Right.
we're not
studs.
great.
Every,
Yeah, this is like a once every 4 year situation. You're just hearing about all of it right now.
Right.
The best of the best, right there.
No, for real. For real.
Ever do politics as one of the topics?
I don't give a fuck about politics.
Yeah.
It's all garbage. until we rise up and overthrow our government with violent revolution, nothing's going to change.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, I love that.
Too passive.
When people on the street, those flyers like, hey, who are you voting for like local elections?
Totally.
And I'm just like, I love walking by. I just go, the only way through change is violence. And then they're like, okay.
Keep walking, sir. Keep walking. Just keep walking.
I guess we're not interested.
Can I have my flyer back?
Ari Shaffir is here. He's going to be at Comedy Works at downtown Larimer Square. Now, most of his shows are sold out, but he's added 2 more shows tonight at 10 o'clock and then Saturday night at midnight. It's Ari Shaffir, and he's got how many? 4 comics.
4 tonight, 5.
Yeah.
An extra
So
one
how
tonight.
long does the show go?
We went a little long last night.
Well, so it's going to sell. These tickets will sell, so get them.
Yeah, so you got to go to comedyworks.com, or the number. I have to always read the number. 303-595-3637.
Yeah, next time I'm coming back, it'll just be my regular hour. So get these now, because it won't be like this next time.
So do you sometimes feel empty? Like, well,
empty.
I guess
like drug use and fucking women. You ever feel empty in your life, Ari?
You look sad. You overall look sad.
Have you been eating? You look like.
Let me tell you about saints from the latter day.
I mean, like, when you don't have the gang with you, when you're just.
Right now?
Yeah. Right.
Those assholes are all sleeping.
No.
Yeah. Like, wake up, like, fuck
I
off.
bet when you go out solo, when it's just.
Yeah. Sometimes that gets like boring and
You're like,
lonely.
where's the gang? It's just me. I'm closing the show. Thank you.
We should call all their rooms and wake them up.
Yeah,
we actually should.
We're all sharing the condo. It's 5 dudes in the condo
Oh,
together.
nice.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, we got a couple air mattresses we put in closets. I was like, guys, I don't know how to make this work financially if we all get hotels.
Yeah.
But we can all
You
share.
can all do a condo. Airbnb.
Are you traveling anywhere after this, or what's your plan?
You're going
I'm
back
going to go to Vail and then back to New York. I'm going to bring so much weed with me. Some of my friends like, you can't bring back with you. I'm like, you what? Why? You can't bring back with you because you're an idiot.
90% they let go through. They
Are you kidding me?
I read an article that said 90%.
bombs they let go through.
Are you? Wait,
No, for sure.
wait.
He's right. He's like when
How am
they
I
do these
missing all
tests-
this? I'm terrified to take my pen with me.
No, I
don't
put it in my toiletries. It's like I just grind it up, put it in a little container, and throw it in my toiletries. It looks like my gel. And
They ain't checking. I got caught with weed once. My friend got caught with a bunch of weed.
what happens?
They say this is in Burbank, in a legal state, and this was like medical legal back then.
Okay.
They say, "Do you have your license?" And he was like, "No." And they're like, "Well, we got to confiscate this." And you have to, it's a fix-it ticket. They're like, you have to show us you had your license.
Here we are, sweating balls at the airport, and we've had we have an ounce taped to Kathy's underboob.
Right,
and
right.
no.
And that's here. I got edibles gummy bears under this boob.
I get screaming fights with the TSA all the time. I do that with tons of weed in my bag that they're about to go through. I'm like, you guys are fucking pieces of shit. You take away our freedoms. You have no right to search me. How dare you? I hope you all die.
I'm filming this right now.
Knowing I have arrestable offense right there that they're about to go through. I don't give a fuck. I'm a free American. You gotta live your life like a free American.
Okay, but here's my question.
I know, but when I hear him say all this, I'm all terrorist inspection. He's getting the booty cavity.
I know. No offense, but with the name Ari Shaffir, I would already think that you're about to be taken to the next,
to the next room.
Yeah, totally. But do you check it or do you put it in the suit? Do you?
I do it wherever it is. Put it in my pocket, in my check bag, in my carry-on. I don't give a fuck. As long as I'm not going over international borders.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
no,
that'd
for
be
sure. And
locked up abroad scenario.
Oh, no, I just watched that, man. I just watched some girl get busted with, it was one of the situations where the girl's like, hang over there, because they're real nice to you when they want you to do it.
Yeah.
But when you get to the other country, they're real mean to you. And they put like so much cocaine in her bags and threw her to the airport that when she got arrested, she was facing like 30 some years.
Damn. It's so frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be high and watch that show.
Oh, no, for
You're
sure.
like, oh my God.
Girl, did you hear the door? Did somebody drive by?
I had once on my way to China, I think, and I went through Qatar. Or Qatar,
Are you
whatever.
crazy?
Yeah, but I had these edibles on me still, and they rushed me out like, hurry, you're gonna miss your flight. They take you like 3 people, like, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw my stuff away.
Yeah.
But there was just no time. They were rushing me. Yeah, I'm going through security in Qatar, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, here we go.
No, I had some herb that I was taking to Australia, but we had a layover in Guam.
Mm-hmm.
So if I stayed in behind where you already went through security, I was cool.
Yeah.
So we were there for like 18 hours, and I was like, I guess I'll just sit at the airport.
That was dedication.
Yeah, that was like, I really want to get stoned in Australia.
Ari Shaffir, make sure you get get those tickets. ComedyWorks.com. Thank you for coming in, hanging out with us, man. We really appreciate
you guys are cool.
Yeah, no, thank you, Ari. We really
screw those other guys sleeping.
Yeah.
Right, let's call them. Okay,
back
so
and piss in their
I
face.
just saw the list. Sean Patton, Mark Normand, Joe List, Steve Simone, Al Jackson, and Brant are going to be with you. That's
Joel
very
gets
cool.
a headline here normally.
That's cool.
Well, since you showed up, we're going to go do a bong rip with you upstairs.
Oh, hell yeah. Out of
First the
respect.
picture.
Normally, I would never touch marijuana. It's an evil drug. But for you guys, I'll make an exception.
Thank you. Thank you so much.